Hello and welcome to the Computer Game Show. My name's David Turner. I'm here with Matt Murray.
Hello.
And I'm also here with James Farley.
Hello.
And John Denton is also here.
Hello.
Wow, look. Very straight down the line, that one, wasn't it? No pissing about. Welcome back. Let's get straight into the feedback, shall we? What have people got to say about last week's show, Matt? They loved it, did they? They all loved it.
They mostly loved it, some people less so. Johnny Ball starts us off.
Go on.
Please stop the games, lads. Please, you're killing me.
Yeah.
Obviously, last 2 weeks. That idea. That's a good idea.
Yeah, on that, I sort of said after last week's show, let's give them a break. Let's not do games again for a little while and then come back to them. But then we got sent a bunch of really good games. So I mean, if we're lacking at the end of this show, I might sneak one in at the end. But we'll see how we feel. Yeah,
Ricky Cartwright actually tweeted in who sent an email last week, and is that quiz I read out last week. Hey Matt Murray, great in inverted commas hosting for my quiz. By the way, my email very clearly said that all games are for the PS4 unless otherwise stated. So yes,
for Christ's sake,
Matt,
yes,
what's the matter with a remake of Shadow of the Colossus.
Thanks, Matt. That's ridiculous.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
It does matter. It does matter. James won. Yeah, you shouldn't be complaining, mate. You should just just go. Yeah, okay, fine.
Yeah, you should be happy with anything.
Matt, for Christ's sake,
look,
come on, you got to get this right.
Well, we're not doing games this week, so it's fine. We can just relax.
Okay, we'll relax. Next.
Speaking of being relaxed, Greg Shepherd emails in. The games aren't a bad idea in of themselves. However, games alone are not enough to be entertaining. Basically, Greg says if we're going to do games in future, we need some stakes, a smash and motivation.
You missed a line there, Matt.
Yeah, you missed a big line there, Matt.
What did he say?
Well, I'm not going to read the entire email. I just wanted to...
No, read that line.
Which one then, guys?
What have you edited out?
What's been missing in the last couple of games, Gap, has been stakes. What was in the Gap, Matt?
Other than basic competency from the host.
Yes.
I was summarising the email.
God, he's a fucking disgrace.
I wasn't reading the whole email. I was just summarising it, which is what we should be doing, and I think I've done it perfectly well.
Firstly, who's written this in? Greg
Shepherd.
Right, Greg, who the fuck do you think you are telling me how to podcast and what works and what doesn't? Who do you not understand how long I've been doing this? Do you not think that I've got some sort of credibility and understanding on how this works? I mean, fair play, you make a very good point, and we should do exactly what you're saying there, but come on. Give a little bit of trust over to someone that's been doing this for many years and has grown quite the following.
Yes.
Me.
Oh, yeah, I thought you were talking about me.
Come on, Matt. That joke's been...
I think while we're talking about stakes, I might as well jump in and say that, James, I owe you an app because my the bets I made on a couple of Switch titles have not come to fruition.
Hold on, John. So do you know about this? Do you know about the bets that Matt had laid down with James?
Were they on the show? Was it done on the show?
I mean,
it was done on the show.
I mean, I would have heard it, but you know me, I'm not going to remember that shit.
Yeah, that's a good point. So you said in the week that because they announced the new Nintendo Direct, and you said, oh, this is my last chance to salvage part of my bet with James.
Yeah, correct.
And I'm trying to remember what bets you're talking about. What were the rules there?
Well, I mean, it wasn't really like a two-part whereby if I lose one, I can salvage the other, but I was trying to get what I could. The first part of the bet, I don't know what I was thinking. Maybe I was drunk and maybe I had 2 or 4 beers. I said that the Switch might have maybe was going to have like a CD drive.
Yeah. Right, yeah, but I know that was years ago.
Yeah, but then I sort of added on the fact that I had hoped they were going to announce an F-Zero within a year of the Switch launching, and that didn't happen in this week's Direct, and therefore I've lost the bet, or bets in inverted commas.
Well, you would have lost the bet anyway, because wasn't it a year before this Nintendo Direct?
Well, wasn't it like March 12th it came out? Oh god, we're going to get emails.
Oh, who cares?
Either way, we've lost.
You lost it. Yeah,
so I James.
I mean, that is. I mean, he's right. He's absolutely right. Greg, I was mucking about earlier. Obviously, I was doing my arrogant thing, and I'm sorry about that if you took that seriously. But you're right. The stakes of these things is rubbish. And from now on, if we're doing a game, there should be not so much a game. I don't think there's necessarily you need stakes involved or whatever for a game, but definitely for these bets, they can't be app bets anymore. They're rubbish. The £10 bet was a good one, right?
Yeah.
Because that's real cash. But I want to see like proper punishments for whoever loses. That's what it needs to be.
Next time, you've got to buy me an Xbox One X or whatever.
All right, mate. Whoa, we're not all living your lifestyle, James. Not everyone can commit to
your butler to get her on. It's collective on the warehouse. Mark from Wigan. I've just been listening to last week's episode. Great episode. I think the comments about Matt were a little strong, though. You criticise him for becoming a character. Can we all be honest for a second and admit you all play up to characters on the show? Dave likes to do his little Ricky Gervais bit to Matt's Carl Pilkington. I've got plenty for that. Like, if anything, James is Pilkington, I'm more of a Steve Merchant.
I don't know. I think that's pretty accurate, Matt. I mean,
I'm pretty. I think that's right as well. You are a bit of a Pilkington, Matt.
Well, I mean, James is the moody one. Anyway, James likes to skulk around a website like a moody gremlin, and John does his passive-aggressive thing.
Two things have annoyed me about that sentence. One, there's an H in my name again.
No H in John.
For fuck's sake. And passive-aggressive, come off it, mate. I'm not passive-aggressive.
He's just opening.
Yeah, exactly.
Just straight
passive-aggressive is a terrible character trait. Aggressive is a good character trait.
Well, good.
It's better than passive-aggressive. It's above it.
Yeah.
Passive-aggressive is terrible.
Who sent this email in?
This is Mark from Wigan. He continues.
Mark, mate, you've really stirred the pot here. No one's happy with you in this podcast. I mean, I'm fine. Yeah, I mean, I've always admitted to being like just ripping off Ricky Gervais. This is the first podcast I listened to.
Yeah, we all have.
Yeah, well, you did last week. You went, I do rip off Ricky Gervais. We've all found out today that you're actually Pilkington, aren't you?
I'm definitely more a merchant character. I can't.
No way you're a merchant character. He's funny.
And clever, so thank you. All of your listeners will like/dislike different aspects of their personalities, but I don't think you should chastise Matt. It's what makes the show worth listening to, in my opinion. Thank you, Mark from Wigan.
Well, I mean, okay, all right. If you say so, mate, go on.
Adam late to the party 82. Glad someone mentioned a change in Matt Murray on the latest episode. He's changed from happy-go-lucky guy to trying far too hard to be something that doesn't suit him.
You upset him with the "I was being sarcastic" comment there.
Yeah,
that's come back to bite you, isn't it?
Now look.
Rightly so.
Dave, you mentioned last week about a tabletop game. I think it had some hexagons in it. And basically, someone, Dark J, Playful Wolf on Twitter, says it could be Battle Masters. Does that sound?
Let me Google it.
Basically, it's a minis game placed on a floor-sized mat. It was made in partnership with MB, Games Workshop. It had a sweet plastic tower, and you played it a lot growing up. So, Battle Masters.
I think it was. I think you've done. Yeah, yes, it definitely was. It was Battle Masters.
Well done, Playful Wolf. You win a 1,000. You win nothing. A few people actually liked and were impressed with JCA Farley's discussion about detention last week. And then Nick Parton tweeted, absolutely jumped on JCA Farley's suggestion of detention on last week's Computer Game Pod.
Matt,
as a jaded horror fan, I'm desperate for something new.
Matt, why do you keep saying my Twitter name rather than just my normal name?
Because I'm reading the tweets.
It's just weird. Just say, James's suggestion. It's just a bit odd.
Dr. Farley's suggestion. Yeah. God, I'm really surprised he got praise for that. Because it was really boring. I almost cut it. But go on.
No,
Stansel, www.twitter.com/JCA Farley's bit on detention was surprisingly cerebral. I'm now quite convinced there's actually a doctor, or at the very least, compiling audition tape for Kane and Vince. So Pooh actually likes it. Normally James moans about games, so this time they were quite a fan.
The only thing I liked about that whole section was that it was clear that James was reading from his little notes again. And he just is, the way he speaks and the way he just acts is completely different when he's reading from his notes. It's really funny. That's what I mean. And he edits on the fly as well, like when he's reading his little notes, and it's just insanely noticeable.
Thanks, Dave.
Your whole demeanour changes. What?
That's fine. It's good. Right. Good to have the feedback. Go on.
Go on.
Well, was that on your bit of paper? Good to have the feedback. Like, use that
He's
as a
written that
line.
down.
Don't listen to them, James.
What's your game?
My game?
What are you after?
Me?
Are
John?
you hoping to get involved in his will?
Fuck
Yeah,
off.
what is this?
I just stand up for the truth,
Hey,
mate.
nice-
I just stand
nice
up for
one,
the truth.
James.
I listened to that back.
I liked it.
What,
I
Alex
listened to
Jones?
it live, and I listened to it again when I listened to the show back, and it was a good bit.
What, you're just going to continue? Are you going to? Do you want me to send you just that bit cut?
No,
So you
I've
can
got it on the
just listen
podcast. I
onto
can listen
repeat
to
all
it whenever I want.
John, do you want that bit played at your funeral?
Yeah, he'll play it at yours though, Matt, if you keep this up.
John,
God.
I don't know if I
Can't
said.
touch
I
me
don't know if
over
I
there.
said. I don't know if I've said this on the podcast before, but John had the best idea for, what was it, funeral music. Funeral music. He was saying at his funeral, when his coffin's getting lowered into the ground, he wants the sound of a goal being scored in Rocket League. And it was just that, you know, those drums. Dum, 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 dum.
Would you also have like indoor fireworks?
Yeah.
Fucking class flying.
And the
off all
big,
over
well,
the
it's got
place.
to be the big Grim Reaper coming out now, isn't it?
Yeah, doing the dab. Definitely.
Brilliant,
Definitely. We'll see if we
Ryan
can. We could probably do it by then, right?
Emailed in tons of feedback about the drop mix suggestion. One of which is actually you can tap the screen to see how many cards are supposed to be in your hands at any one time, Dave. And actually, did you know we could actually have seven in our hands at once? At least in versus mode. We were playing with
What?
3.
No, we weren't. We were playing with 5. We were playing with 5. We had 5 in our
Okay,
hands.
either way can have up to 7. He emails loads of other little tips. Still not convinced about the game, but it does sound like at least someone's getting some fun out of it.
Someone's trying to justify that purchase. That's what's going on there. I can't imagine sitting there really and going, "Oh no, this is really good." But whatever, different
Yeah,
people.
I've got 7 cards in my hands now.
Things.
We need to talk about Crackdown,
Okay.
Dave. Darren Moore tweeted in, I don't know what's worse, Dave's Crackdown stream or when he fucked up his 10,000th game of threes. Do you want to explain what happened on Twitch?
I will explain that during the what you've been playing thing because I've put Crackdown in there. But yeah, I started streaming this week. Basically, to give you a little preview, started streaming this week. Crackdown. The stream is going really well. I had some good viewers and lots of chat going on.
I watched it on the
because
night
it's quite a
before.
casual
That was
game
2
to
hours
play.
of... I liked it as well. Maybe want to get the game.
Yeah, thank you. The idea is that forever, I mean, I've been banging on about finding this last orb in Crackdown, you know, I've been obsessed with it. And I've started streaming my attempts to try and find it and find out how that went a little bit later. Go on.
Lastly, we had some feedback about it's a question from Sean Wilkinson. Just started last week's show. If I don't remember correctly, didn't Dave enjoy Sleeping Dogs? This is further to the Yakuza debate and whatnot. And we said we wanted to discuss it on the show.
Yeah, because what happened last week, if you hadn't heard it, it was James said that I don't like anything from Japan.
I didn't say that. I said you
weren't.
weren't interested in Japanese culture. There's a difference.
Right, okay. And I like Sleeping Dogs, so that was the answer. And you're
There's
right, yeah.
but there's
I
a
did
bit
like
of a problem
Sleeping
there
Dogs.
because Sleeping Dogs is set in Hong Kong.
Yeah.
It's not Japanese.
And it's an English game.
I
Yeah.
didn't. Well, no, the game. The fact that it's an English game doesn't make a difference, does it?
Of course it does.
Why?
Because it's got an English design, well, a Western design philosophy.
Yeah, but then the argument last week was, oh, David, you like Mario and Dark Souls and Zelda, and they're Japanese games, and you went, no, it's not about where they're from. It's about
No,
what
not.
it's about.
Exactly. It's about the cultural side of things. And
Right. Okay.
I know that you're not that interested in like Japanese culture, are you? Like really?
Well, no, you said anything outside of what did you say? The Anglosphere or something.
Yeah. Anything outside the Anglosphere, like anything
And
which is
so Hong Kong is in that,
no, because
is it?
I'm not talking about Hong Kong. We're talking about Japan here.
No, you said anything outside the Anglosphere. Is
exactly.
Hong
So
Kong
this-
outside the Anglosphere?
Well, no, because this game was developed inside the Anglosphere.
No, yeah, but
by
you
a-
said that
by a
wasn't
studio.
where it was developed. Wasn't an issue.
Well, no,
like, you said that
it is
wasn't
an
a
issue.
factor.
It is an issue as John said, it affects the design philosophy.
Whoa, what is this? The rules are right. So you're angry at me because
I'm
I
not
don't.
angry at you. I don't care.
There's no games that I like that are set in Japan, made by a Japanese developer. They're the rules. They're the two rules.
No, I didn't say I'm angry about that. I just said that in general, I know that you're not that interested in exploring that, are you?
Not particularly. No.
Exactly. So
I
they
said
said
that. But I said that last week.
Yeah. Well, there you go. That's all That's all I was saying.
Okay. I just don't know why okay, whatever. Fucking hell, what a meaningless thing to bring up, James. What a meaningless thing to bring up.
Didn't say anything. All that's no, because I said it's not meaningless, because if you're talking about something like Yakuza, it's not just about the game design as well. It's also about the fact...
Right, okay. This is where I've got to take you to task. Okay, sorry guys. I know this has been going on for too long, over several weeks. No, hold on.
Just let me finish, right? It's not just...
hell, James,
no, it's not... No, because you're not just going to shout me down. It's like, look, it's not just about the game design. It's also about the fact that the environment in which it's set in, you're not terribly interested in. So therefore, it's inevitable that you're not going to be so interested in, like sort of giving it a chance and playing more through it.
Hold on, I gave it more of I played it for 6 or 7 hours, James.
That's nothing for a Yakuza game. That's
no, that's bollocks. Don't tell me that. If 6 and 7 hours it's not grabbing me, then why is that my fault?
Because again, that's part of the design philosophy, though. Because
right, so you're telling me flat out that I didn't like Yakuza because it's set in Japan and it's made by a Japanese developer.
No, because because it was adhering to specific design philosophies that I know that you don't like. Because they're they're cultural design philosophies that you're not interested in.
So the combat is excellent, is it? I just don't get it because I'm not interested.
No, it's not about the combat. It's about
the combat's shit. But the combat
is not shit, David.
The combat is shit.
No, it's
on
really
modern
not.
day standards, the combat is below par.
That's on the amount of time that you played it. Again, you can't make that judgment because it begins to unlock more as you go along.
6 or 7 hours of it, James.
Yes, but exactly. This is what I'm trying to explain to you. These games are designed to be a slow burn for a long period of time before things start to change. And you don't like that because you just want it to be instant gratification.
This is the other thing that made me laugh. You started off the conversation last week by saying, I listened to what you said about Yakuza and you made some very good points about things that you don't like about it.
Yeah.
I said, that's right.
From your perspective.
And then every time it was brought up after that, you challenged every one of my criticisms.
Because they're good points from your perspective. But then also
whose perspective am I supposed to say it from, James?
What do you mean?
I'm the one fucking talking.
I know, but then I'm allowed to disagree with you from a different perspective.
Of course you can, but you can't just turn around and go, "Well, you don't like Japanese games made by Japanese."
Because you can say that's a reason why you're not engaged with it,
mate. That has got nothing to do with the fact that me thinking the combat was shit.
Of course it has, because
the side stories were meaningless.
Because the whole point of that I'm trying to make
there was way too much.
No, this game is designed in a specific way to be a slow burn, to be a slow developed game, which is something which a lot of Japanese developers go for, and you didn't like it because of that. I mean, that's the main reason, because you didn't see how things like the combat evolves. You didn't see how the stories evolve. You didn't see any of these things because you finished before you got to that part.
So, I mean, when it's doing it, okay, so a major criticism is it spends way too much time building stuff up.
Exactly, but that's what I was saying about how you don't like this style of design.
I don't like that style of design,
well, exactly, we're not arguing with this.
Well, yeah, it's all good then. You both agree. Yeah.
Well, at least that's cleared up.
He just seems angry at me for not liking Japanese games.
You two just discussed it all out and actually worked it all out, and you both agree.
It's fine.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, but John, fuck James.
Well, that's different.
How about that?
Well, that's
okay.
That's the different argument.
I don't like the bloke. He just you could only say that's from your perspective. I know it's from my perspective. Fuck James, right? And that's the end of the discussion.
All right.
That's the final word on it.
Fucking
all right.
Hell. I thought I just thought something special happened and you ruined it.
Nah, fuck James.
Up yours.
Next.
That's actually it for feedback. If you want to leave us feedback to get these two arguing, it's thecomputergameshow@gmail.com, or you can tweet us at ComputerGamePod on Twitter.
Hi, Dash Radio listeners. Right, okay, should we do the news then? James, let's do your news. Let's see how this is.
The news has been brilliant. There's been tons of news, which has been great. The first bit of news is that Monster Hunter World is now Capcom's best-selling game of all time.
It's crazy, right?
Next story.
No, shut up, Dave.
I'm joking. See, because Capcom, what are their other huge titles, right? Street Fighter,
Resident Evil, Mega Man.
I mean, to be fair, to be fair, that's a pretty amazing thing to happen.
Yeah.
When you look at Street Fighter and Resident Evil, they're not little It's not like this is all they've got is Monster Hunter.
You see, I was thinking about this though, because it's like you think back to Street Fighter in particular and how like massive that was when we were younger, but then also the gaming market was tiny by comparison,
absolutely.
Wasn't it?
Yeah,
and that's why it's so. Now it's just huge.
Yeah,
isn't
but hold
it?
on, it's huge. Yeah, it's huge now. Like you got.
That's what you're saying.
Evo is just. Oh, right, yeah. We agree again, James. What the fuck is going on?
But now even in the expanded market, the Street Fighter games aren't selling relatively as much as they were, if that makes sense, in terms of like a...
No, because there was a problem with the last one. Again, I'm not too clued up on fighting games, so there was a problem with the last one, wasn't there?
Just a bare bones release, and they pieced it all together, and now it's in a really good shape, but it's still only, from what I understand, did a couple of million. Someone can correct me on that one. I think Street Fighter 4 did good numbers, but I think World has beat it. I kind of assumed it would just be a Resi game, though. Like Resi 4 or something like that across the different formats.
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to say. I mean, if you'd have told me that Resident Evil sold more than Street Fighter, I would believe you. But if you told me that Monster Hunter sold more than Resident Evil, that would be like, really?
Yeah, especially when you think like Resident Evil 4 has been released on like everything known to man. Like,
I think this one just caught this like wave of to go back to the subject that we were talking about before. This wave of like renaissance of Japanese game design when people in the West becoming really invested in games that are a bit more demanding of the player. Plus the fact this is far less obscure and esoteric than the other Monster Hunter games. I mean, I played this one. I tried to play one of the older ones. I was like, I like Monster Hunter now, and I played 4 on the DS, and I was like, oh yeah, no, you can't play this. This makes no sense at all. So there have been huge differences in this one, and it just coming out at the right time, all these sorts of things. But still, I'm still really surprised by that.
I mean, this is the other thing that I think highlights for me that I find really interesting. The general rule of releasing games is that if you release them by Christmas, no matter how insanely populated it is with games released like heading towards Christmas, the idea was that it would always sell a certain percentage more than it would have done any time other in the year, and that's why Christmas time gets totally overpopulated with games released. Like there's so many games coming out. Is that starting to fade away now? Because we're hearing more and more stories of games being released in February, March, April time that are going on to sell massive numbers, be really successful games, and more stories around that Christmas period about games that are released and flop. So I'm interested to see how much, because it come out in a period where nothing else was coming out. It was there was a lot more focus on this game than there would have been had it been released in November or December last year.
I think Capcom have been trying to. Sorry,
there's another factor with this as well, which I hate to say it, but which is China, which is that this is massively popular there, and their population's huge, and loads of people play it. And I mean, when I lived there, I used to see people on the subway all the time playing it. It was
for sure. Yeah, I mean, we knew it's always had that following, but they've released loads of Monster Hunter games, and they haven't taken off in the same way around the rest of the world. This one has.
Is like home console gaming on like PS4? Well, I'm assuming not Xbox, but PS4 is that big in China?
Not well. Last time I was there, not so much,
because I remember back in the day there was the big piracy problems, and then restrictions. Yeah. So that's one thing. Because obviously Monster Hunter World's only out on Xbox and PlayStation. It's not out on PCs. Well, I know PC's massive over there.
The Xbox One is out over there, like officially, like you can buy it, but there's issues with it because you can't get certain games for it and all that kind of thing. And there's only but I think Monster Hunter's probably one of the ones that you can get. But PlayStation
does
4,
Xbox Live work over there then?
Yeah, they've got their own.
Or is
version.
It a separate?
Yeah, there's
so it's their own version again. It's all regulated.
I'm presuming it's walled off. I mean, I don't know because I've not used it since. I mean, when I was there, I used to just connect to UK servers anyway, which is why the lag was awful. But I'm not so sure.
Also, it's done this within just 5 weeks, which is crazy.
Yeah,
it's done well. What's your latest with that, Matt? Are you still really enjoying it?
Oh, yeah, I can't turn it on. I mean, I haven't played it.
I can't turn it on. That sounds about right. Next story.
Okay, so Microsoft has brought back Inside Xbox.
Yes,
which is so. This seems to feel a bit like it's Microsoft's answer to like the Nintendo Directs, although Inside Xbox was around before because they used to run it on the 360, and
and it was fantastic.
Yeah,
it was really good on the 360 as well.
And then they created their own show called Outside Xbox, and now they brought them back. It seems.
Right. So is it the same people that were doing Outside?
No,
not entirely. No, this is so basically it's monthly. It's 2 hours long, and it's Major Nelson and some other people as well.
And AC Bongos and
yes,
other
yeah.
Lydia's doing it as well, isn't she? She was part
yeah,
of
it's good gaming, yeah.
Yeah, so happy for her, but yeah, I mean, you seem to be pretty negative about this in the chat earlier, James.
Well, it's kind of okay. So it's a mixture of like developer interviews, competitions, which I hate, and
Why do you hate competitions?
It just feels so corporate and horrible. I just don't like it.
Competition?
It's all like, make sure you're watching Mixer, guys, and then you might be able to like win a copy of Sea of Thieves or whatever. And
how can you look at that and get angry?
I don't get angry.
Like,
it's just so, I don't know. It just feels a bit cheap and cringy and stuff. You know, I don't know. I don't like it. But anyway. So they've also got all this like audience engagement stuff as well, where they've got like people tweeting in pictures of like Sea of Thieves and stuff. But it's all just like really corporate and sort of a bit cringy. And I mean, it's nothing to get really angry about. It's just the thing about it is it would just be so much better if it was shorter and more focused, because it's 2 hours long, and that's quite a long time to be with Major Nelson.
But is every episode going to be 2 hours long?
I think so. Yeah.
You think so, or you know so? I mean, are you going on fact?
Well, that's what they said.
Guess what?
Well, they said this is what we're doing. So
they said this is what we're going to do. 2 hour shows every time. They said that.
I haven't watched the whole thing. It was bad. I'm not going to go back and watch all of it and do that.
I mean, James, you sent over like a highlights video from the 2 hour show, and it was the video is 90 seconds long, and there's a lot of filler even in those 90 seconds. There's lots of just like cuts to someone saying a word and then moving over to something else.
Am I the only one that can't rag on this stuff? I like it.
Did you watch it?
Would you sit there, David? Would you sit there for 2 hours and watch this?
Probably not, but some people will. And if they're building up some sort of connection with their fans, like with Xbox fans, then it's all good, isn't it?
It's not something to get angry
hopefully they'll
about.
refine it and get to the point where it'll actually be worth watching for announcements. That's what I'd want. You know, I want them
if
to
it's shorter, I would definitely do that. But then I'm not going to sit and watch a 2 hour show for the odd announcement. I mean, if it was
are they going to do that though? This sounds so unofficial. Yeah, they said, well, we're going to do like the.
David, I haven't checked all the details about their production schedule. I don't know.
So the answer to your So the answer to the original question, is it 2 hours every week then, should have been, I don't know, mate, actually. To be honest with you, I don't know what they've got planned for it.
Oh, great. Oh, you don't know anything. Because that's what you always say.
Do your research. You're learning lots of lessons here.
Oh, sure.
No, but seriously, I think if they can build up something that works in the same style as the original Inside Xbox for a start, and heading towards these Nintendo Direct things, I think that's a great thing. Yeah. And all right, I can't stand Major Nelson. He makes me cringe my teeth out my face, right? I don't understand like why he's in the position he's at, right? We've covered this before. But clearly it's working to some degree because he's had that job for a long time. So, all right, he doesn't appeal to me or whatever, but some people must like him. I think, maybe. Anyone?
Can you write in if you do? Because I'd like
John,
to know.
what do you think about this move?
Well, I didn't watch the show. I watched that minute highlight that James put up in the chat, and it looked bloody awful. But yeah, it's a funny one because Inside Xbox kind of predated the way YouTube gaming went. It was, you know, doing stuff with video and gaming that didn't really exist before that. It wasn't perfect, but I think Dan and Andy did a good job, and they kind of changed the game a little bit. And, you know, both of them doing very well for themselves now, with Andy with Outside Xbox and Dan as his production company. So I think they're fine, but it's a bit weird to bring it back with that name and to be something that's way more. That was the interesting thing about it before, is it was a corporate thing, but it was actually a little bit interesting. Do you know what I mean? It had a personality.
Yeah.
And now this looked like, and again, I didn't watch the whole thing. I only watched that minute's highlight, but it looked the similar sort of banal crap that was that Gamescom stream where people were talking in a way that for me personally, I can't abide. There's zero edge. Everybody talking like this weird, like the children's TV presenters, but talking to adults. And as if adults
John,
can't handle
how
any.
Can you say that? I mean, Microsoft clearly believes strongly in transparency, inclusion, and having an authentic two-way conversation with their fans. Come on, this is.
I'll be interested to see how it changes. As like John, I've not seen the full thing, but I'll be interested to see if they really do pump out a 2-hour show. I mean, the developer interviews, yes, they may be a bit pre-scripted and everything, but I'd be interested to see more of those and see where that sort of stuff goes. I can't rag on it because
this is what I said. I'm not getting angry about it. I'm just saying, as I said, I wish it was a bit more focused. Because it just feels...
And less competitions.
Yeah, exactly. It's terrible.
Okay,
it's just terrible.
James, if this show blew up and we were asked to do something like this, and we had to say, hey, I hope you're watching us on Twitch for a chance to win a copy of, something, Fallout 9, would you just be in the background, or would you? Would you
can read it all out. I'm not doing that.
Would you just stay at home because you didn't want to be involved in the competition?
No, you can read it all out. I'm just not doing it myself.
Hold on, what's the situation, Matt? Who are we working for?
Yeah, what is this hypothetical? What is this?
Well, okay, so say Sony wants to do something similar, and we were they said, yeah, you guys are clearly the right people for the job. We want to do a Sony variant of the show, but you guys are going to present. But there's loads of competitions you need to really get audience engagement up. James, what would you do? Just
I told you, I don't
sit on the couch and ignore it.
You can sit there and do it, Matt. I don't want to be part of this crass entertainment because it's rubbish.
Me and James are out. We're going to do interface 2.
Yeah, good.
I've got one question for James. Right, before you go, all right, you've decided that you're not going to be a part of it, but it is in your contract, which we've made you sign. I don't know how, but fine. You've got to come up for a name for the Sony one, the Sony version. Go on.
I don't know. Oh, come on, no, you can't do that to me just
yes, I can.
On the spot.
You're in the ballroom. What's the name of the Sony one? What are you going to call
Access. There you go.
That's the name of our YouTube channel. We can't use that.
Yeah, I know.
James.
Yeah.
No, I do like the idea of Dave or me or John presenting, and then James in the background with crossed arms, wearing
just
a
shaking
suit.
his head.
No, because it all gets a bit Jeff Keighley, doesn't it? With the whole, the Doritos and all that kind of thing. It's just, I don't know, I don't like it.
With the Doritos and that, you sound like an old man now. It all gets a bit Jeff Keighley with the Doritos and the competitions and the stickers.
Also one thing, they announced about the Xbox Spring Update, and you can finally share videos and that to Twitter. So at least there's one good thing that's coming out of the Spring Update.
Yeah. About time.
Major Nelson did have his white gloves on again. He was doing his unboxing stuff and everything again. So you can watch that, Dave, because I know you like that.
How long's he got, that fella?
What do you mean, to live
on this planet?
Well, either. Whatever. Come on, let's go. Next news item.
Okay, so next we got Fortnite. I didn't put this in the news. I don't know who did, but was it you again, Matt?
It was a massive news story, so yes.
Oh, but who cares? Involved. Okay, it's Fortnite Battle Royale is coming to mobile.
Now, the idea with this, what's different about this story, is that it's pushing cross-platform play, right?
Yeah.
So you can play
with
people on Xbox and PC. Was it PS4 and PC? What are the caveats?
Okay, what it is it's mobile players have the choice to opt into PlayStation 4 and PC queues, to join them, but PS4 and PC players can't get into mobile lobbies.
Right, okay, fine. Currently, with the John, you play a bit of Fortnite and stuff. Yeah. So can you opt out of playing PC players on the console version?
Is there? I don't think. Yeah, I mean, you're not playing PC players with the console version right now.
Because I don't think crossplay is
really?
Live for that.
You're just playing the people on your console.
Because that always worries me. That I don't want to play with PC people. Part of it is because on
the phone version you can opt in to play cross-platform. I don't know if you can then pick platforms, but you can just play against phone people. Why you'd opt in, I don't know, because you're just going to get murked instantly. But
I wonder how you play it then. Can you connect? I assume it's got controller support with it, right?
I don't know, but because it's going to be cross-platform in the sense that progress that you have in the mobile version will also carry over to PC and console and stuff.
Yeah,
but I don't think it's going to be with controllers. I'd imagine it will still be touchscreen, won't it? So because they want.
Yeah, I mean, I can't see why they wouldn't add controller support because that makes so much more sense, doesn't it? So then you could take your phone and your pad with you and play a normal game of Fortnite on the move.
Yeah,
well, it does, but then
only
an
iPad Pro, And
if
Xbox
you've
Pad,
got
it'd be
like a
brilliant.
made for iPhone like controller, then you can, yeah. But not many people have that kind of thing. I mean, if it was them, they're definitely going to be designing this for touchscreen because that's the majority of the players will be playing that
of
way.
course, yeah. I'm not saying only controller support. I'm just wondering if that was additional. I'm sure there'll be touchscreen controls with it. Weird one. I don't know how you play a game like that with touchscreen, but
Well, this is.
guess
I mean,
we'll give it a
do you want
go.
to hear what Epic said about it?
Go on.
So they said,
What did he say? What did they say, James?
"We believe this is the future of games." The developer
I'll
wrote.
leave off.
The same game on all platforms, console quality graphics and action. Play when you want, where you want, just with shit controls. I added that bit.
Did they
obviously.
said that? Did they?
No, I just added that. Bit.
I mean, as John said, and I think Matt said in our group chat, the Switch version's not too far away, is it?
Oh yeah, I can't believe
they
they
could
didn't.
get
I
it
really
running
thought
on
it was going to be
phones.
announced at Direct. We'll obviously come to Direct in a minute, but yeah, I mean, a Switch version will be announced or out this year, surely.
Yeah, I think that's a guarantee.
So yeah, this whole like cross-platform thing, it's like it's kicking off again with like Xbox and PlayStation, because obviously Microsoft really want it. PlayStation, it seems, don't want to do cross-platform with Xbox because currently Xbox One players can play with PC, Mac, and mobile. PS4 players can play with PC, Mac, and mobile. Xbox want there to be PS4 cross-platform, but Sony are having none of it.
They've been after that for ages.
Yeah.
I remember when it
Rocket
first
League and
sort of come
stuff.
about during Rocket League, was they wanted to hook up, and Sony just said flat out no. So
They've got no reason
Shame.
to do so, have they? In the sense that obviously it's better for for gamers, but
just stop
but
being
for them,
dicks for 5 minutes.
they don't
maybe.
care, though, do they?
Anyway, speaking about the mobile version, there is a trailer out. It looks great, and there is like a registration now that you can sign up to basically get in a queue to get the game when it comes out. Android version will
think
be out in a few months.
I thought it was out now on iOS.
No,
And then-
the registration today is opened up, and then and people will be getting emailed in a queue or whenever to download the game. But it's not out on the store yet, unless something's happened in the last hour.
Okay.
Okay, so the last piece of news is the Nintendo Direct, which
Very
which has
exciting, isn't it?
happened.
Every time this is announced now. I like the fact that they say, there's a new Nintendo Direct tomorrow. It's just enough time to get excited for it and not enough time to forget that it's happening. So, I like the way they do their shit at the moment. It was an exciting one, wasn't it? It was okay.
I know.
It wasn't
This is what
amazing, but it was good.
This is what I'm also loving about this, though, because you see, coming from like the Wii U years, whenever one of these came up, you were like, "Oh, what's it going to be this time? Is it going to be like half an hour of like people talking about Yoshi plush toys, or is it going to be something good?" Whereas now it's like really packed with stuff, which is it makes it pretty exciting to listen
more
to.
importantly, they're announcing stuff we didn't know. There were several in the Wii U years, as you say, where it was barely even announcing anything. It was they were just there showing off games that are coming out, rather than sort of making big announcements. But they seem to be announcing something relatively big every Nintendo Direct at the moment. So should we go through them?
Yeah, shall I just go through what we've got, and then you can say whether you're interested or not?
Well,
And,
as we go through them, yeah.
Okay, so first of all, there's WarioWare Gold. That's coming out. So that's for the 3DS.
So they started with the 3DS stuff, didn't they?
Mhm.
They sort of got that out of the way and then moved on to Switch stuff.
Man, I was so hoping that would come out on Switch.
Yeah, it would have been good actually.
It's kind of shut us all up, I guess, because, I mean, when the Switch came out and we were talking, they announced, look, we're still going to be developing for the 3DS. We were all going, yeah, all right,
Yeah, cool.
that's going to be dead soon. But we're a year on and they're still announcing games for it. That's pretty impressive.
This must be its last E3, though. You reckon?
I don't know, because the install base is still massive. Well, it's pretty big, and I think they're positioning this still as being like for younger people even more so.
Yeah,
now.
absolutely.
It's-
Yeah.
I'd say it makes
As you
sense.
say, you bought a 2DS for your son not too long
I
ago.
did, yeah.
So
Just last week we bought like a 2DS XL, the new 2DS, for him for his birthday, and he's loving it. It's kind of perfect for him, really.
yeah. Okay.
Okay, and then we've got Okami HD is coming for Switch, which is this is a good thing, obviously.
We knew that, didn't we? We knew it was coming.
Did we?
Yeah, wasn't it announced at E3
It was
last year?
It was announced for PS4 and Xbox, but not for Switch. And everyone was like, "Why isn't it coming to Switch?" And then now it is.
That's weird, because a PR website that I use had it listed for the Switch a few months ago.
Really?
So I'm pretty sure it was announced, but I could be wrong.
Okay. Then we got Sushi Striker: The Way of the Sushido.
Looks alright.
Okay, anyone want to talk about
Yeah, it
that?
looks alright. It's like it looks got that match 3 things. Like it looks like something you'd like, Dave.
I probably will. I
It's
love
like a puzzle
match 3.
game.
It's
Yeah.
good.
You love sushi.
Yeah. Then we got Travis Strikes Again.
That
this
looked
is
weird.
I mean, No More Heroes.
Yeah, I know
spin-off
those games are always weird, but they look quite different to what I thought it was going to be. Lower budget, but I'm intrigued still. But I just assumed it was going to be another normal No More Heroes. Not that you can call that series normal, but do you know what I mean? Like third person behind
Well,
the
that's
back.
it. What was a good? So, what is a No More Heroes game? Is it an action adventure game?
Well, yeah, I mean they're both weird, and they've got lots of tangents and weird little sort of non sequitur sections. But ultimately, they're a behind the back combat game, really, aren't they?
Yeah.
Whereas this was more like top down, and it looked fucking weird. But
Okay.
I'm not sure. I don't know if it looked good, but I mean, who knows? We didn't see much of it.
Fine.
Okay, and then we've got Dark Souls Solaire Amiibo is coming.
Oh, come on! What a great shout for an amiibo!
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like that. Somehow that character is so beloved, and to have that as an amiibo is a great shout. And the interesting thing was that to do the praise the sun thing, you use the amiibo to do it.
Yeah, some people are a little bit annoyed about that. The fact you need the amiibo to do it.
Is that confirmed? Like you can't do it without the amiibo?
I'm fairly sure it has been locked behind the amiibo. I mean,
Right, okay.
whereas before, I mean, I've never even bothered using emotes in Dark Souls, but do you have to earn them, or are they just all there? How's it work?
You unlock them, don't you,
Okay.
as you go through the game? I think so. Anyway, I can't remember off the top of my head, but I could see why people would be upset by that if their favourite emote is locked behind an amiibo.
Yeah, I'm not into amiibos, but that looks like one that it looks like it might be worth to know. It might be nice to have on your desk. It looks cool.
I wonder what that's like then if you buy the because obviously they ain't going to do amiibos for the PS4 or Xbox One version. So what are they saying? Okay, yeah, you need the amiibo to do it in this version, but everyone else gets it for free.
Yeah, I
'Cause
imagine so.
Yeah, that would definitely piss people off.
That does sound weird, though, doesn't it? I mean, I'd have thought that it'd be like an optional extra, and it just gives you some extra armor or something like that, rather than like the emote. That's a bit odd.
Yeah, it's a bit odd.
Okay, so we got that, and then Square Enix, there's the Octopath Traveler. There was like a demo for it on the Switch. That's finally got a release.
Yeah, for starters, this went on for way too long.
Not as
secondly,
long as the Mario Tennis bit. That was insane.
Oh god, yeah. Well, we'll talk about that. Secondly, it's a strange one, isn't it? Because I can understand why it's single player focused. The new DLC. Sorry, so they're bringing Octolings, what they're calling.
You're getting mixed up here. This isn't about Splatoon.
What am I doing?
This isn't Splatoon.
Oh, really?
No, this is Square Enix. It's Octopath Traveler. It's an RPG.
Oh, right, I'm totally getting
Also,
mixed
just
up.
before we get into
this?
it properly, I've just looked up and basically Bandai Namco confirmed that you can still earn the Praise the Sun emote through regular gameplay, so it's not locked behind the amiibo.
Okay, fine. No.
But if you have the amiibo, you can get it straight away.
Alright, well, I don't care about this Square Enix thing then.
Yeah, it's a JRPG. It's coming out on the 13th of July. Okay.
Definitely don't care about it.
Next, we've got Crash Bandicoot is coming to Switch. So that, the trilogy that everyone bought for some inexplicable reason is coming to the Switch.
More importantly, Crash Bandicoot is a first-party title from...
It's not.
No,
it's not.
Sony,
First, it's not. It's an Activision game. It's yeah.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah,
okay.
it is, yeah. It's
all right,
it's one of those things,
then.
I think, because like in the beginning of its life, it was like a first-party kind of thing, but then Activision bought it and they own it. It's like Spyro the Dragon's the same. It's
okay. Well, then it's not a big deal, then, is it?
Yeah.
I mean, I understand why they want to put it out on the Switch.
It's coming to Xbox as well, like pretty soon. So
well, there we go then. There we go.
Okay, then we got Mario and Luigi Bowser's Inside Story, so another 3DS re-release of a DS game, but it's also got Bowser's Jr.'s Quest in it. I mean, I don't think is anyone here interested in this?
Not really.
No. I played the original. It was good. Not bad. Not one of the better ones, though, but yeah. And then Luigi's Mansion is getting a remake for 3DS, which is also a shame. I mean, I wish that was coming to Switch.
Yeah, I mean, there was rumours that a double pack might be coming to Switch for Luigi's Mansion with the first two games, but yeah, I mean, I don't know how quick it would be to port it over from the GameCube, but it doesn't seem like they've done a massive job. It really surprised me how bad it looked in those trailers that they were showing. I mean, it is the 3DS, so I'm being a bit harsh there, but My word, yeah, I was like, whoa, hold on, did this ever look like this? I'm sure it looked better on the
GameCube. It looked really good on the GameCube from well, just probably just the memory speaking. But
exactly, that's exactly what's happening. Yeah.
Okay, and then also there's Undertale is coming to the Switch. I don't know anything about this game at all.
I mean, everyone's raving about this in like 2 years ago. Whenever it was out, I remember like Giant Bomb guys like talking about it tons in their Game of the Year episodes. I know nothing about it, but it was quite a nice trailer, full of character.
It felt, though, that I should have known those noises and stuff. Like, it seemed like it was like a obvious reveal trailer. And it's like, oh my god, it's the noises of the characters. I can't wait.
Yeah, it's probably obvious if you had played it. You're like, oh,
never heard about this. Never heard of this.
You never even heard of it?
Oh, yeah, I have. Giant Bomb was talking about it. And you were going, oh, did you listen to Giant Bomb? They were talking about this game. And I was like, no, Matt, stop talking about Giant Bomb. That's probably about as much as I've heard or know about that game. So, there you go.
Okay, and then Captain Toad is also coming, but it's coming to Switch and also 3DS.
Harry was really excited to see New Donk City in a different, different sort of way. So they're adding new levels to it. They're basing it over some Mario Odyssey levels. Was this a budget title for the Wii U, or did it come out full price?
It was cheap. I remember when it came out, it was definitely cheaper than...
It was cheaper, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But it's going to be full price to the Switch, isn't it?
I'm sure it will be, yeah. Why not?
How do you feel about that? Because, I mean, I love the fact that these games from the Wii U era are coming over to the Switch, right? I love that, like, genuinely. But for them coming out the same price as the new games, is that taking the piss a bit?
It depends. I mean, it depends if you've played it or not, I guess, really. I mean, otherwise, does it really matter? I mean,
does it?
Well, like, Bayonetta 1 and 2, like, I had those on Wii U, so I didn't bother buying them on Switch, because I've already played them.
Yeah, but they were also cheaper. They were like a half price from a standard game, weren't they?
No, they
Wasn't Bayonetta 2 for the Switch £30?
It got discounted, but when it first came out, it was full price.
60?
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that. Well, for the Switch?
No, for the, what's it called? For the,
but this is what I'm talking about, for the Switch. So you're taking Wii U games, putting them on the Switch, and charging them full price again?
Well, no, because it's cheap. It's cheaper on the Switch than it was on the Wii U.
What was?
Bayonetta.
I know. That's what I'm saying. That was fine with that. But now we're looking at Mario Kart 8 was full price. Then you've got these other games. They're releasing quite a few, right? So you've got Donkey Kong Country Freeze, Tropical Freeze. You've got Toad Treasure Tracker. I'll be interested to see the pricing for that.
But they are adding extra content, I think, as well. I mean, they're definitely adding extra content.
There's a few levels. Yeah.
Like Mario Kart 8, obviously that had all the DLC as well, like as part of it.
What do you think, John?
I'm kind of funny about this sort of stuff. To me, it's not a rip-off if people are going to buy it at full price. It's as simple as that.
I guess so.
But I mean, maybe I shouldn't take the corporate point of view, but that's the way my brain works, supply and demand. Like, if people will pay it, charge it. I mean, that's the way my brain works. If it's a rip-off, don't buy it. Like that. It's as simple as that.
I definitely want to get this Captain Toad game. I've seen so many people talk so highly about it, and when I talk to people about Switch, and they're like, "Oh, did you have a Wii U?" And Captain Toad was great.
3 levels max. 3 levels max. You'll play that.
Oh god, yeah. I mean, you say so many people spoke so highly of it. I didn't see that sort of buzz for it. I saw a lot of people saying, "Oh, this is nice."
Yeah.
I've said this before, but like it certainly seemed like it was a good game, but far from a classic. I still want to play it. I love those bonus levels in 3D World, and by the sounds of it, it's just more of that. I probably wouldn't pick it up for full price personally. That's my view.
I'd be more inclined to go and grab the old one. We still got the Wii U, so go and grab the old one for $10.
Yeah, for real.
Okay, and then Splatoon 2 is getting single-player DLC, which is the...
Sorry, this is what we were talking about.
Yeah.
There we go.
So they're calling it... Firstly, they dared to name another year. They've called 2018 the year of the Octolings, and I thought, you've gone from Luigi to Octolings there.
Tell you what,
if anything,
that Luigi year was a bad year for Nintendo. It didn't work that well.
Cracking year for Luigi, though.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah, his profile went through the roof. There's these Octolings. Have they been in the world of Splatoon before? Are these all brand new ideas that they're putting in there? No one knows.
So I was waiting for someone else to answer. Yeah, they're the bad guys, aren't they? From the campaign?
They're in Splatoon 2. I know that.
Ah, right. Okay, fine. So yeah, it's single player DLC. What did they say? It was £20?
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know anyone that would solely. I can't see this being a massive seller. They're in a not a shit situation because Splatoon 2 is fantastic. Blah blah blah. But obviously, they put out so much free content for that game, like a ridiculous amount of free content for that game, and that's a good idea, you know, like because they want to keep the player base all wrapped up. They don't want to splinter that player base by locking them behind, you know, DLC or whatever. So they've released single player DLC. I mean, I'm not going to buy this. I can't see
Japan
many
will
other
buy
people.
It, Japan is obsessed.
Do you think the single player stuff?
They're obsessed with this game in Japan.
But what for? The single player or the multiplayer?
Just everything about it, the whole game. They love it. They're nuts for it.
Okay.
The culture, the style, everything. They just fucking love it over there.
All right, well then fair game. I've totally misread that. If that's true, then and this sells well, then great, because it means that there'll be more free content for the multiplayer because the game will stay alive for longer. So you know, good on Nintendo then.
Yeah, I just it's like Splatoon 2 is the first game to hit 2 million sales in Japan this decade, which is it's done really well.
2 million though, that don't sound a lot. Or am I crazy?
Not many people on it.
Okay.
Okay, so that's Splatoon, and then there was also Little Nightmares is coming to Switch, which I know looks alright.
Yep, I mean I never played that game, but I'd be more likely to play it on the Switch than I would on a home console. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've heard it's good too. And
then we had Mario Tennis Aces, which went on for ages, and didn't enjoy that very much.
I thought it looked alright.
It looks alright, but it's what I mean is like the presentation just went on for a bit too long, I thought, but...
Yeah, I was watching it with Elliot, so it was a bit different. He was just pumped for it the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
another game that looks really good.
Pretty excited for it, Pete.
It depends on how well balanced it is, doesn't it? Whether it's all going to be like super shots and all that kind of thing, then it's all over. Or...
Not to kids, they won't care, will they? Like Harry just wants to see like Mario in any form that he possibly can at the moment. So, whether that would be a factor in the sales or whatever. I can't see kids like too interested in tennis in the first place, but what do I know? Go on.
And then the last thing was the big reveal of Super Smash Bros. For Switch.
That's fine, but you did miss out the one of the announcements that I was really excited for was I'll try and say it the way they said it.
Oh yeah.
South Park: The Fractured Butthole. They were doing everything to try and disguise the title of that game during that trailer. And coming up, the South Park: The Fractured Butthole. I think that's great that that's coming to Switch. Firstly, I mean, it's probably going to be one of the most offensive games ever to come out on, it's one of the most offensive games to come out on a Nintendo console, right? It has to be, because some of the jokes in there are fucking strong. Secondly, I really liked the Stick of Truth, and the Fractured Butthole come out in a time where I was playing so much other stuff that there's no way I could have played it. But as with everything on the Switch, I get so much more screen time with that than I do any of my other consoles, because I can play it when someone else is using the telly. I will probably play this at some point, so I'm really happy that it's coming out on Switch. It seems perfect. It seems the perfect sort of, if I was going away for a week on a holiday, just buy that just before I go away so I can blitz through it on holiday. It sounds great for that. So I was really happy that's come out for Switch. Good on them for getting games like that on there. And then you had the Smash Brothers stuff at the end.
Yeah.
I don't understand if this is a re-release of the Wii U version or a brand new Smash Brothers game. Is there been any clarity on that?
We got no idea. Apart from the fact that it's going to have Splatoon characters in it, I don't know. I mean, I really would imagine it's probably going to be like a bit like Mario Kart 8 was, in the sense that it's
I don't think it will. See, really? If I had to predict, I would think it was a brand new Smash game.
Well, yeah, it'll be a brand new game, but I think it's going to be built on the Wii U version.
I agree, James.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Built on it?
Well, it will be the same game.
A brand new game, but built on it.
Well, it's a brand new game because it's a new release, but it's going to be built. It's going to be the same, pretty much, as the Wii U version, just with some extra characters.
Yeah, but are they
DLC.
going to name? So, what was the Wii U version called again?
Super Smash Bros. Wii U.
Right. So It's tricky then, isn't it? They can't call it Super Mario, Super Smash Brothers Wii U Deluxe.
Super Smash
for the
Brothers Switch, I
they?
guess they'll call it.
Yeah, they could call it Super Smash Bros. Deluxe.
Oh yeah.
But you think it's going to be right? Okay, you think it's going to be the same game as the Wii U version, but with added content?
Yeah. Well, what they'll do is they'll shove in all the DLC from Smash Bros. On the Wii U because there was loads of it, like loads of characters. There was loads of stages and stuff, and also stick in the characters from from Splatoon. That's it. I'm certain they're going to do that.
It's number 4, right? And it hasn't been 4 wasn't released on the Wii U, was it? It was like Brawl or Melee or whatever.
Okay.
No, they're saying on the Wii U it was called Super Smash Brothers Wii U.
Yes. What they did was they released 2 versions because there was the Wii U version and the 3DS version, and they were developed at exactly the same time, and they were really, really similar to each other. And I'm certain they're going to use that again because
okay,
it
fine.
makes more sense.
You're probably right then because I thought it had a name like Brawl or whatever, and then when I saw it come up at the end, Super Smash Brothers, with no sort of title underneath it, I thought, holy right, so is this a brand new game or is it just a remaster version of the last one? But yeah, you could be right then, it could be a remaster. So I'd be interested.
There's loads of people with different theories about whether it is or whether it isn't. I mean, Sakurai tweeted saying, right now, what the translated version of his tweet said, right now we're just at a stage where we revealed this game, but I've been working on this game in silence day after day. Please wait until we can release more information or until release date. I mean, that doesn't sound like it's just a port. That sounds like they're putting heart and soul into making a new game, but it's weird that it's quite ambiguous.
I just can't see why they would do that when they could just repackage this. It makes more sense because it was really good. It was a really, really good game. And
yeah, but then also, why not just release a brand new sequel on your really well on the machine?
Why didn't they do that in Mario Kart as well? Then why didn't they release a new Mario Kart?
Because they're putting out time to do
just
that?
get that game out there, didn't they?
Yeah, and they need something for launch.
No, this will be.
We're a year out, because this is the other thing you're thinking.
It's coming out this year as well, which is really soon. Is
there going to be a brand new Mario Kart game for this system, or is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe the only Mario Kart game that's going to come out for the Switch?
I don't. I think they never do that. I mean, they. How many other Nintendo systems have had more than one Mario Kart? None. Because they just don't do that.
Saying. So, are we going to find ourselves a bit disappointed with the fact that this stuff is being brought forward from last generation, and that's all we're getting for console?
Only for people that haven't played it already. Like, if you've played it already, then maybe you'd feel like that. But if you've never played it, I mean, they could still add stuff to Mario Kart. It's nothing stopping them doing that. Like more DLC, that kind of stuff. But generally they don't release, like, especially for those ones, they don't release like multiple versions on the same system.
Another bit of evidence, is that Bandai Namco weren't credited as developers. They obviously worked on the Wii U version. Instead, it's HAL Laboratories who are doing it. Surely, if there's a port, Bandai Namco would have been credited somewhere.
Well, maybe we don't know yet, though, do we? We know so little about this.
We don't. I mean, it's just bring in the Ev.
All I care about is it's an exciting thing. But out of all the stuff that was announced, that's one that I'm definitely going to buy.
It was a great trailer.
I'm definitely going to buy.
I thought it was really good with the reflection in the eye and whatnot. I've never played a Smash Brothers game before, but you're definitely going to get it, are you, Dave?
Well, my history with Smash Brothers is a bit of a weird one. Like the N60, was there an N64 one? There was.
Yeah, it was. It was the first one. Was on N64.
So I really like that, but the GameCube one I adored. I absolutely adored. We played that so much. Then the Wii, I fell out of love with the Wii by the time that come out, so I didn't play it. Then the Wii U version, I don't know why I didn't play the Wii U version. I played it a bit. Your version, James,
we
nowhere near enough to make some sort of opinion, but it just felt like,
I think,
it wasn't something that I was interested in. But seeing Harry watch that trailer and see these characters all at the end, and he was just like, "What is that?" And I'm like, "Sit down, Harry. You're gonna love this." Like just a massive, great big fight with all these Mario characters. It got me excited for it. It got me pumped.
But there you go. That's the end of the news.
Okay. John, you're up for that, aren't you?
Well, Smash Brothers.
You got no choice either, have you?
Elliot loves Smash Brothers, and he's very good at it. And I'm looking forward to him getting it and then improving his game. There's an actual career path in that game, so why the fuck not?
Yeah, Joe did drop the old, do we really want a fighting game? Do we want him playing a fighting game thing?
Yeah.
Yes.
And I'm like,
he's
yeah,
a boy.
but it's,
Boys
how...
fight.
Yeah, that's, I suppose. It's just weird. I understand what she was saying, but I'm like, yes, cartoons though, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Also, I kind of want to play it myself, so let's not. Okay. Right, is that it? That's it for the news?
That's all the news, yeah.
Time for a bit of what you've been playing this week then, and I'm interested in finding out what John Denton has been playing this week. Do you want to start us off?
Yeah, I'll kick things off. So, yeah, I've done a bit more PUBG and Fortnite, a little bit more of a comparison. I wasn't really planning on doing this. I was actually planning on playing a little bit of Fortnite just because it's just growing and growing and growing to crazy levels. I don't know if people saw that it was on this morning. We should probably talk about that in the news, actually. Fortnite being on this morning in the UK.
Was that, what was the angle?
Fortnite's ruining my son's life. He's addicted.
Yeah.
You know, it's the same shit that's been happening since the 80s. You know, the Nintendo killed my
All
son.
the good games have had
Exactly.
this. All the very
That's when you know. That's when you know you've made it. When you get onto shit
it's
like
been
this.
quite a big week for Fortnite. There's that also for the first time. I guess I could say ever, but basically, like Fortnite's number of searches on YouTube, Fortnite has now surpassed Minecraft, or at least it has today, or at least this week, which is obviously massive. That something else is surpassing Minecraft.
But has it surpassed Road Rage UK videos?
No, those are still way,
I search that
way
pretty
in the lead.
often.
There's also, I saw a post today on SB Nation, which is like a US sports website. I think it's part of Vox Media, saying that like how players in NFL, maybe some other American sports, like they're starting to do Fortnite celebrations.
Yep.
Someone else emailed us in actually saying that on Arsenal TV that the other week they're having a massive debate, obviously about Arsenal being crap or whatever disappointing, shall we say? And then someone called in right in the middle of this debate saying, yeah, but isn't the shotgun in Fortnite rubbish? So it really has like, and I mean I know I'm like into my memes and whatnot, but say on like Instagram accounts like WorldStar, every single meme that's vaguely related to gaming, it's always Fortnite. Fortnite is the one that every relevant like meme and like bit of content about gaming is talking about. So
there's
like
not been
Fortnite
a game hit mainstream in UK and US like this in a long time. Not since like COD
it feels
and
like, I mean, like obviously PUBG's sold incredibly well, 25, 30, well I think it's like 30 plus million, whatever it is. But Fortnite, it feels has captured the mainstream in a way that PUBG just hasn't, which is crazy.
Oh God, is that the first time that Matt's accepted Fortnite? Because I remember when we were first start talking about Fortnite, you were like, yeah, but it's going to buzz down. Like the buzz will go down, and PUBG will still be the big game, and blah blah blah.
I mean,
this is the first time you've accepted it into the fold.
John says, "I'll go." Obviously, it's like an incredible business decision. At the time, we thought, well, you just literally ripped off this game that's selling really well on Steam, but now, I mean, it's insane the popularity, and this is the one that's broke into the mainstream more than PUBG. It would seem.
Do you reckon that maybe this has become more mainstream possible, successful because it hasn't got a stupid name?
Well, it does have a stupid name, to be fair.
Yeah,
it's not
Fortnite,
as stupid as PUBG. That's worse.
Well, yeah, it's not its official name, but
it's actually PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds: The Ultimate Life and Death Fight. So use the full title, James, if you will. It's amazing. Anyway, sorry, John.
Yeah, no worries. I mean, I only had a few games. I played it with some of the guys that we often play with on Friday. And if you haven't played it since they changed the map, there's so much more in there now. They've done the 60 frames per second update on consoles, running 4K and 60 on Xbox One X. Looks great, so smooth. Amazing that it's a free game, really, and it's no real surprise that it's taken the world by storm. And although the other guys didn't really enjoy playing, because it's like anything, if we're playing PUBG and Fortnite, they dropped in Fortnite and got smashed straight away because they're trying to play it like PUBG. And the second they got into a firefight, the other team started building a wall while they just stood there taking pot shots, and obviously they died, and they're like, this is shit, let's move off. But I was like, damn, and this is what I talked about last time I talked about Fortnite. That building really does make the combat so dynamic and completely unique for a game that is essentially a rip-off of something else in like jumping out the plane, the circle, all of that stuff. The actual moment-to-moment combat gameplay is like nothing else. There's nothing else where you're suddenly building your own cover, instantly building these towers, having to negotiate other people's towers. I mean, it's completely unique in that respect. And I'm definitely keen to spend some more time with it and try and get better at the building. You watch I was watching a stream earlier. My friend was like, he's ridiculous now at this game, but he plays on PC and he can build. The speed at which he builds makes absolutely no sense. I've seen people in the game when I'm playing on Xbox and PlayStation build fast, but watching the high level players on PC, it's just madness. And the fact that they can be in your game because there's no skill based matchmaking is it makes you feel like you're never going to win another game again. But I'm definitely keen to really spend some time with it and try and get better at the building, because I think then you're going to have a combat experience that's, like I said, it's not like anything else, and the game will instantly become that much more enjoyable. On the flip side, we did go to PUBG, and in the second game in, we got chicken dinner, which is like the third one I've ever had. So obviously, I absolutely loved that experience, and it does have the advantage. We talked about it before, but the advantage of the tension, the suspense, the sort of drawn-out games, the vehicles. There is more drama in PUBG, definitely, and I think they kind of nicely sit next to each other. You can play both and have quite different experiences despite being sort of structurally the same game. So I played some more PUBG and it drove me mad, so I'm kind of keen to go back to Fortnite. But having them both there, I mean, PUBG on Xbox is like, you can get it for a tenner now, I keep seeing it. So it's, it's very, very inexpensive, and obviously Fortnite's free. So having these two sort of amazing and revolutionary shooters available for next to nothing is quite special, really. So I'm hearing that the new map's coming to Xbox and PUBG in the next couple of months, but I did hear that from somebody who's often wrong. So let me know on Twitter.
That's been confirmed. The roadmap was announced this week.
What from that?
The roadmap was announced this week, and they say it would just be in the spring. So which is what, like March, April, actually? So I guess
it's technically spring in about 9 days, isn't it?
But it's part of the roadmap, and they've also announced like a 4-month roadmap, I believe, and at the end of the 4 months, or within those 4 months, that's when they'll also announce a new map for PC as well.
Okay.
They also, I think, a huge patch dropped in the last week or so on PUBG with tons of extra performance upgrades and whatnot, so they're clearly obviously doing tons of work with it. A question about Fortnite. John, have you ever put money into it, or are you just playing whatever?
It's on Season 3 now, whatever that means, but for Season 2, I dropped the £8 for the Battle Pass, which just gives you, it's like a different, much faster way of levelling up, and you get way more cosmetic items in that levelling up tree that you can't get. Yeah, it's perfectly playable on the non-payment. The sentence I'm trying to say. If you don't pay, it's still perfectly playable. And you can still unlock cosmetic shit, some emotes and stuff like that. But if you want the cool skins that they do, you drop £8. But I thought last time I was like, I'm happy to drop £8 on this game. I played a decent amount at that point. Thought it was pretty amazing, really. So whether I'll do it again, I don't know.
In classic Matt Murray fashion, I played about 4 or 5 games before the pod, and I already want to drop the £20 on some like super pass, whatever it is. But I don't know. Just because they're like,
hey, you get that, they give you multiple seasons?
I don't know. Basically, there's one for I should say for like £8, and if you spend like 2008 with the points, whatever that is, you get some super pass. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
But I played a few games, and like the building, I'm really terrible at it. I can't really get that down. But I mean, almost every highlight video I might see on like Gaming Bible or any of the things I follow on like Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, almost all of them are around the building in Fortnite. I rarely see like a highlight where it's just literally like 2 people shooting, whatever. It's always about like someone's built a crazy high tower or someone's trying to trap someone. I mean,
I watched one of Wizite's videos the other day actually, where he was doing the. Have you seen that Staircase to Heaven video?
I haven't seen that one.
Where they start off, collect as much wood as possible, and then build a stairway as high as the game will let them go, and then build a pathway from that stairway into the centre of the circle. So they're just constantly building, and by the end of it, it's just them and a few other people left in the world, and they're just like miles high into the air, just looking down, trying to find out where this person is. Shit. Of course, they got no way of getting at them, but they're sort of just stuck in this tiny little circle for a bit. I think they died in the end, but it was quite an interesting watch, because it was like, wow, you really can push this building stuff to its limits. It seems like there's not that many rules to what you can and cannot do. You'll just naturally get screwed up by the end of it if you try something as wacky as that. It's not like it can't be exploited because of the basic mechanics of the circle continually closing down.
That's it. You can be the best builder in the world, but you can still get shafted by the circle all day.
Yeah, absolutely. But no, I played a bit of PUBG this week, and I'm surprised at how refreshing it feels when you've taken some time away from it. Someone on Giant Bomb said that the good thing about PUBG is that at times it feels like a glorified chat room. And because we really got into PUBG when we were playing it at the start of the year, and the worry is that, well, the thing is that you get so wrapped up in it, you lose that sort of relaxed nature of it that we started with, where we were just dicking about and laughing and joking and just enjoying the experience, and we were focusing on having to finish in at least the top 10. That became the focus of our gameplay after a while. When you take a break from it, you go back to laughing and joking about and then just enjoying the experience that it has to offer. And definitely with the, as we've mentioned before, the story building and the natural drama that it creates, it felt really, really fun to play again. So, I think as we said it at the time, but it certainly feels like the game that we will always have installed on our consoles.
For sure.
Take breaks in between.
Did you did it feel a bit more sturdy? Did you think any more bugs got crushed? Got removed?
We still had a couple of crashes. Yeah. No, we still had a couple of crashes. It looked a little bit better and it ran a little bit better, but yeah, it's nowhere near up to the standard it should be. And it's still in early access, so it's hard to jump up and down about that. But the other guys still had crashes here and there.
But yeah, Fortnite, I'm eager to play more. There's also announced that 20 versus 20, like with the 20-man teams, and there's 5 20-man teams?
Yeah, we tried that, but again, the guys, they just died real quick, and we didn't really get into a scenario where you felt like you were part of a big team, and they just wanted to bounce off. But I'm keen to try that again.
Oh yeah, hell yeah! Whenever you're playing it, John, let me know. I'm eager to try more about it. To try more,
mate.
Play
yeah,
it.
I'll give you a shout and wait for you to not turn up.
Yeah.
Go on. Anything else?
Yeah. I had a quick go at the Burnout Paradise remaster today. That's up on it's up on EA Access.
Oh, so, wow, yeah.
I've seen bad things about it.
Really?
Whoa, have you?
Yeah, well, roll muck, but they were saying that visually it doesn't look anywhere near as good as they were hoping.
Well, I played the backwards compatible version on the Xbox, and I played this version, and it's just a much, much, much cleaner, sharper, nicer version. I don't know what they're expecting. I mean, it's not a remake; it's just a 4K remaster. So,
yeah,
I think that word is not like Shadow of the Colossus. That's like a remake.
Yeah, that's a full-on redesign, isn't it?
I mean, this is just it's a very, very nice cleanup. I mean, if you told me this was just like the Xbox doing it itself, it wouldn't surprise me. But it runs beautifully. It plays beautifully. I think it looks super sharp. I don't get that, to be honest. I mean, it's still Burnout Paradise is still the masterpiece as far as I'm concerned. Straight back in, I was just like, I could just sit here and drive around this place for hours. To me, it doesn't feel old. I know that you may be thinking that it feels a bit old now, Dave. Is that right?
Only based on the backwards compatible version. I'm assuming that the gameplay
you're more
is
of a Forza
the same.
Horizon fan than I am. I think that Burnout Paradise is still a distance better than those games for what I want from like an open world arcade racing game. It's not, to me, there's not that much of a direct comparison, even though they are obviously quite similar. But I mean, I just think it's great. And what I love about Burnout Paradise, and that's something that it was a brave design decision, and it's something that's not been in any other open world racing games as far as I know. But they didn't put the GPS in there. And admittedly, when it came out, GPS was less common than it is now. Like, it's completely ubiquitous now. But it was a little bit. People were still using maps a little bit more in real cars, but. There's no like line on the map to where you need to go in the races. You have to learn the map. That was I remember Criterion coming out and saying, the idea is that you want to become like a citizen of this city, and you have to learn it.
Yeah, it's why they named each road.
Yeah, and
it
still has the indicators to let you know where to go, but ultimately you basically need to know where you're going. And it eases you in because the early races are still fairly easy, and sometimes you do get fucked over by that. And it is one of those design decisions that it's proved very divisive. And it's not without causing issues, but I like the fact that they went with that, and it's the same something they did in GTA 4 as well. That they didn't want to do it there because again they wanted you to learn the city and become part of it. And I do think in GTA 4's New York, or whatever they called it, it's I did Liberty City, of course. I did feel like I became more and more familiar with that place because I had to learn it without using the GPS. Now, I don't think you can get away in an open world game in 2018 with not having a GPS because it just doesn't make sense. Like I say,
well, it's the size as well. The sizes are, so much bigger than they were back then. Even Liberty City was. I mean, it was a decent size, but it was nowhere near as big as it.
Yeah, but even games that use small cities use GPS or some waypoints now. But you can't. The justification has to be like either you've gone back in time or something. Because I was in the car just driving somewhere on Sunday, and we had an old TomTom and 2 phones. It's like you had 3 different ways of just getting a map up digitally just to get to this place that we're getting to. So you can't really justify it in 2018. But I like that. That's something that I like about Burnout Paradise, and I just wish Criterion still existed in the way that they used to. And I still wish that they were making Burnout games with that same team.
I'll never forget when was it Satnavs first started coming out, and my dad was just outright against them. No, you want to learn the roads. You want to, get a map. What do you need one of those for?
That's nonsense.
What are you talking about? It's just
crazy.
easy. Yeah. It's a map on a screen. It's the same thing, but you don't have pages. It's so much better. It's what are you complaining about? No, I don't need one of those things. Of course, it's got one now. Yeah, and the one I've got, though, is nowhere near as good as his because it keeps taking me in the wrong directions, apparently. I don't know. Old people are just mad. No, I unlike you, I hated that at the time, the no GPS, I still hate it. When I was replaying it a lot last year, I was still getting really frustrated how you could just take a slight wrong turn and then end up in going the opposite direction. And it was like, what was even worse, when the game first came out, it didn't have a restart feature. So you had to literally just drive off until the race ended or cancel the race and then drive back to the start point and start all over again.
Yeah, I think their idea was that
if
you fucked it, you just go and do something else. But obviously, as you clear the map out, that's... exactly. That's it.
But yeah, no, I mean, it's mine are great because I adored that game and adored it when I returned to it last year. Yeah, I felt a little bit dated, but ultimately I didn't really care. I still really, really love playing it.
So are you going to buy it, John, after it leaves EA Access or after the trial?
Well, I have a good friend at EA, so I think I'll be all right. But
sweet copies for everyone. Brilliant, thanks, John.
Yeah, cheers, John. I'll take one of those.
4 cops, please.
That's got the D-lids. But yeah, I'll be smashing. The boys like watching it as well. I'm sure Elliot's going to like playing it. Cody likes watching it. Cars smashing about. You're basically driving Hot Wheels cars in that game anyway. So,
it's such a. But I've said this for years. It's such a good game for young kids to play. And I know there's a lot of if you're worried about the violence of the crashes, I get that. But what I mean is the way it's set up. It's brilliant because you play most open world games. Like Harry plays Forza, but on trickier races or whatever, he'll hit like a wall and then struggle to sort of get the car back on the road and away again. If that happens in Burnout, it just goes boom, you're in the middle of the road again, go. Like there's no like fiddly trying to sort your car out to get it back. You just if you fuck up, don't worry about it, go again. Here's a cool cutscene, go again. Like that's what's so good about that game. It's really clever.
Moving on then, I played a little bit more of Into the Breach, which I spoke about last week in detail. Just unlocked some of the other teams in the game and again, kind of delved further and further into the strategy. It's just a fantastic game. I won't bang on about it much. I do actually think you'd like it, Dave. If it ever comes out to Switch, I'd recommend you getting it because I think your initial reaction to it might be a little bit aghast because it's that type of game that you don't necessarily like. But I think, like I said, delve a little deeper and it's basically just a kind of sort of tile sliding, almost like I said, almost like threes in a weird sort of way, and very satisfying in a similar sort of way. So I reckon you'd love it, but I'll bang on about that to you if and when it ever comes to Switch.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've always had that feeling that I would probably love FTL as well, even though it's like a real-time strategy game. There is a certain style of those games that clicks with me. I've had it in the past, and everything anyone says about that game makes me go, oh shit, maybe maybe I would really like that. But I've just, it's that risk of, am I really going to sit down and learn this if there's that?
Yeah, well, Into the Breach takes
I might not like
10 minutes to learn the basics. And then it's just one of those games where every round you're just learning more, but you never feel like, you know, some games it's like there's like 9 hours of tutorials and you're like, oh my god, it's just But to be fair, FTL's worse, but it's not too bad. But Into the Breach is not like you can figure it out within one round, the basics. And like just the depth just keeps sort of unfolding and unfolding and unfolding the more you play. That team's amazing as far as I'm concerned. Amazing development studio. Cool. And then, finally, I haven't played much of this at all, and I know how massive it is, but I finally got round to starting Persona 5, James, which,
wow.
I bought it in a sale, I think over Christmas, and I've been meaning to get onto it, but there's stuff kept happening. Monster Hunter came out, which I wasn't expecting to play, and bits and bobs, but, I finally started it the other night. I literally done about an hour, so I don't really have that much, sort of thought, but, like, my thoughts so far, unbelievably stylish. I absolutely love the style. I mean, it's amazing. I love games where every single thing is tied into an aesthetic, from menus, loading, like literally everything. And like, I don't think you could get a stronger example than this. I like the start with the heist at the beginning. Then there was a lot of cutscenes, and I kept finding myself reaching for my phone. I'm like, no, if I'm going to fucking play this, I've got to pay attention. And to be fair, they're all very good. Really well, like, drawn. Most of it's just like 2D anime, but they're really nice. And my worry beforehand about what this game was going to be was it was going to be too high schooly. And I know it's like you're a high school student and it's set ultimately in a high school. I haven't got there yet, but there was so much weirdness in that first hour that I was like, no, I'm sure I can get on board with this. There's still going to be, whether or not I'm going to get into the battle systems, or whether or not I'm going to be able to cope with the fucking size of the thing, whether or not there's going to be stuff that starts to wind me up. Because quite often I've played JRPGs and enjoyed them for a bit, and then they introduce some cunty character, and I'm like, I just can't. So we'll see with this game. But so far, I was like, wow, I admire everything about this so much. I hope that it grabs me, but I was like, it got to like midnight and my eyes were shutting towards the end of that first hour, and it has nothing to do with the game. So I kind of want to go back to it when I'm a bit more awake. So I'm definitely going to give it some more time and see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, the high school-y kind of stuff is not really that big in this, I didn't think. As in, you spend a lot of time, like, outside of that, really. Because you mostly have control, like, outside, like, in the evenings anyway, so you can choose what you want to do. And sort of, you can shape... Because this is one of the things that I really enjoyed about it, is that you can kind of decide what, like, how you want to sort of spend your time. It doesn't have to be all, like, high school romance, that kind of thing. You can figure it out. And, I mean, have you done any battles yet? Like, so far?
Only the one in the opening section. There's like a very brief scrap, which is just designed to like press this. That's the only one I've done.
Because the way the game works is it's kind of like based on these sort of it's really kind of like chapters where there's like you had the heist at the beginning, and there's other ones which are like sort of similar concept, but each one like focuses on a sort of a different area, so it doesn't get sort of too repetitive at all, which is why I found it a lot better than 4. But the music in it I think is amazing as well. It's like, especially, it's got the best like battle success music ever. It's fantastic. It's just so stylish. Like the way, like I was watching it and I was just got my wife. I was like, look, just watch this, and she's just like, you're just a massive loser. There's nothing better than that. But I don't know. I just thought it looked amazing. It's great. But it really is a game that you can kind of shape it into what you want it to be, more than I think you can most other games like that, which is what's good. Like, you can, I mean, the whole thing with Persona games is it is all about building relationships, but you can choose to build with whoever you want to. So if there are characters which are really awful or annoying, just ignore them and just go with the others.
Well, the last bit that I played was you went to bed and had this fucking dream with this guy with a giant long nose in the prison and stuff. And I was like, fuck me, this is weird, in a way that I was kind of digging it. So I was like, I mean, I'm interested. I'm definitely interested.
Have you met Ryuji yet? Like the guy with the blonde hair?
No.
Okay, right. Okay.
Yeah, that was basically literally the last thing that I did. But I'm obviously in the 100-hour game. You can't remember exactly where which bits go where?
He's the character that most people have the biggest problems with because the voice acting's not great. But yeah, he's probably one of the worst characters. But there's others that are fantastic. So
yeah,
it's okay.
It's a little bit worrying you saying that. Oh yeah, I was a little bit worried about the high school stuff. When last week you said that you were probably going to end up playing Life is Strange at some point because, oh my god, the high school stuff in that game, it's all the way through.
Yeah, of course.
Speaking of which, James, Matt, you've been playing that final bonus episode of Life is Strange before
this is week 5.
It's going to happen again next week, right? Because I got sent a code for the final episode, and I was trying to play it last night before this episode.
Dave,
but
it's
I made
bad
the
enough hearing about
cardinal
Life is
sin.
Strange. I don't need to hear a story about how you're going to play Life is Strange. Come on.
Okay. James, Matt, what did you think of that episode?
Well, actually, I think I messaged you in a week, Dave, because I think this farewell episode, which actually comes as a bonus if you have the deluxe version of the season. If you buy the standard version of Before the Storm, it doesn't come with it. You can buy it separately, but it also comes free with the deluxe version.
You can upgrade. You can upgrade your complete version. I mean, they made a hash of that.
It's weird that they would do that.
They called it Before the Storm, the complete version that doesn't have the final farewell episode involved in it. You have to buy the deluxe version for that.
But yeah, and I think I said to you, it's really good. I'm really glad I played it. But it was only like an hour and 15 or so. Would you say that's correct, James?
Yeah, it's about an hour.
So I'm not sure how much it is on its own, but regardless, I think it sets up the rest of. I mean, obviously not going to spoil anything, but it sets up the rest of Life is Strange really well. It does some.
What do you mean? What do you mean sets up the rest of what? It completes the link between the prequel and the main game.
Well, no, this actually. But the farewell episode is actually Max and Chloe as children. So it doesn't actually.
Yeah, no, I know that. But what I'm saying is when you say it complete, what do you mean?
Okay,
go on, James. Do you wanna
go ahead, Mark.
Does it hint at what season 2 is going to be like?
No. This is more like a prequel just to the first series. It doesn't even really reflect anything that happened in Before the Storm. So you can tell this is very much a separate thing. But like I think I said last week or the week before, or one of the many weeks we talked about Life is Strange, just playing Before the Storm and understanding a bit more about Chloe and whatnot, I wanted to play Life is Strange again. Playing this, I'm not going to. Let's be honest, I'm not going to. But like the thing it does to talk about Chloe as a child and Max as a child, and the themes and how like the scenarios are set out and what they mean in the future, it's done so well. It's. I mean, obviously I'm not going to spoil anything, but it does some really fantastic things in this. Even though it's only short, there's not an awful lot to it, but what it does really well. James, what do you think?
Matt, did you really like this because you managed to finish it? Because it's so short.
Cousin? Cousin? Are you okay there, Matt? Can you feel the burn?
I don't know if I can carry on. That was a bonus, sure. I mean, what do you think of it, James?
James, why, James? Did you not like it?
No, I did. I thought it was. After episode 3, of Beyond. Yeah, was it? Is it Beyond
Before the Storm?
Yeah, Before the Storm.
Beyond Two Storms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After that, which I didn't really enjoy very much, I wasn't really interested in playing this.
Nor was I until I saw the trailer.
Yeah.
And then I saw the trailer and I was like, oh my god, yeah, I'm up for that.
And then Matt kept on going on about, I've got to play it. So I thought, okay, I will download it and play it. But it turns out it's one of the best episodes they've done. It's
oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, excellent.
And it is really short, but because it tells us, I mean, obviously, as Matt said, not going to spoil stuff, but it tells a story of like loss and also this like impending sadness that there is, like, just so well. And I also found the characters a lot less irritating this time around. I think probably because they're young. It feels more sort of forgivable, like the way they behave because of the fact that they're a lot younger in this. And also, it just gives, again, even more depth to Chloe's character, and which makes it even more interesting.
James,
I'd see how.
Do you think, if for someone who hasn't played, obviously we played Life is Strange, but if you hadn't played it, do you think they would be missing a lot? Obviously, we know we played Series 1, so we know a lot of things that about Chloe. If we didn't have that, and there wasn't that impending sadness because we know her story, do you think it would be as affecting?
No, because it wouldn't have the same sort of like pathos as this has got at all. It's like it's because you know of like what's going to happen that it especially when you see what Chloe was like before things happened.
That was one of the saddest things. Because just how the kids are acting, and obviously you know what happens in the future. That was so sad because. Yeah, Chloe is just so different.
Well, it's not so much like John. Sorry, just to explain. I know you tuned out or whatever, but
John.
The
don't
idea
worry,
is,
I don't
Are you
care.
still there? Okay.
Okay. I'll tell you anyway. Because I'm essentially talking to a listener, but who are also doing the same thing. But it essentially at this stage in their life, that this sort of when they were kids and stuff, a major event happens that you hear about throughout the whole of Life is Strange. So I'm assuming you're in control. Like you experienced that within this episode, is that right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's where the emotional. Yeah, that's got to be fucked up.
It's not just that though. It's also because,
no, of course not. No.
Yeah, it's because it's a combination of events, and it's kind of like you see it coming, but it still is just so sort
hard
of
to
like
do.
mournful.
Oh god,
you know?
they're going to do the scene in the fucking front room again where he's looking for his keys, isn't he?
No,
they don't do that.
No.
No. Okay, fine. Well, don't tell me anymore because I can't wait to play this.
There's also like a big decision, and I haven't actually asked you over text. I'm not going to ask you now either, James, but I'm really interested to know what you did with that decision, because I feel like what I did might have made things better, probably worse. But,
do you mean the phone call stuff? Is that what you're talking about?
No,
Shut
although
up.
that was another one. But
Okay.
no, we'll talk about it after.
you,
Yeah. Anyway, it's only now 15, but if you play Life is Strange or enjoy it at all, I think you really have to play this. I think it's fantastic.
But also, I mean, so you're going to disagree with this, but with the additional sort of depth that you get for Chloe, and it really makes you feel like she's really like the kind of the central character of all of this. I felt more vindicated saving her at the end of Life is Strange now, because I just thought she's special or something. It's I felt happy about.
I think you're mad.
Yeah.
I think you're mad. And a big shout out to Ian Clayton that sent me the code in the week. I will definitely play it for next week. I'm really sorry that I didn't get to do it this week. He already had the deluxe version, then bought a physical copy, and it came with a code. He said, "Well, I already own this. Do you want it?" I was like, "Fuck yeah!" So I cannot wait to get to that this week.
Yeah.
So another 2 hours worth of chat next week, guys.
Definitely.
Another 2
Life is
hours
Strange
worth
is
of
the same
chat.
with music that I haven't really experienced with any other game. Obviously other games have cinematic moments and whatnot, but there's so many parts in not just this episode, but other episodes of this game where you can just sit down and listen to music, and the music seems to fit the scene and the emotion and the story so well. I love that, really.
Yeah, and it had a recognisable song in Before the Storm, one of the episodes of Before the Storm. I was like, holy shit,
it's a great soundtrack.
I think it's also just you really sort of feel like they've kind of like nailed this style of game as well, like better than Telltale have. I think it all just works perfectly without any like problems at all. There's no sort of like excess like fab of just like nonsense that you get in other stuff. It's just perfect.
Joshua Garrity having a breakdown at that.
I don't care.
He's not liking that. He's going to bring up the fact that teens and girls don't talk like that.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about gameplay mechanics. But
all right, yeah.
Also, I don't care what
gameplay.
it says,
It feels good. The only problem that I had with Before the Storm was when it forced those little shitty puzzles on you, and it was kind of like, actually, I'm more invested in the story than doing a shitty puzzle.
We're talking like the emotional stuff, or like finding items.
Go and get the car battery and stick that in the car. It's like, oh my god, what is this? It's got no effect on anything. But there you go. Whatever. Okay, cool. That's all you got, James?
It is, because I've got other stuff I'm playing, but it's all for review, so I can't. It's nothing's happening.
Can't
yet.
talk about it.
Yeah.
I can't talk about it. Matt,
Half-Life 3.
you've got a list here. Monster Hunter World is on there, which I'm surprised about. And we
I
already
did not put
established
that
that you've
on
not
there.
played it.
John,
I didn't put that on there.
one of you did. Well, one of you put hashtag
one of your
graft.
games,
It wasn't
James.
me.
Because it looked like you've been grafting, but obviously not.
I put
Yeah, it turns
Monster Hunter World, but I just
Hilarious
Well,
bounce for
You're
listeners.
quite the card, James.
yeah. Quite the humorist, aren't you, James?
Witcher 3, you've been playing Witcher 3 still?
Oh yeah, I mean, I played a fair bit.
20
I mean,
minutes.
I managed to finish it in the week. It's got a really ambiguous ending. I won't ruin it now. No.
Go on.
I did 2 or 3 missions. I'm going to keep plugging away. I mean, I think I said this last week, but as someone who likes a Game of Thrones, this feels very much in that sort of mold.
Have you defeated your first monster yet?
In Witcher?
Yeah.
I tackled
like your first
the Griffin.
main, the Griffin. You've done the Griffin.
Yeah.
Have
I've
you
done
met
the Griffin
Bloody
outside
Baron yet?
that village you go to.
Have you done the Bloody Baron yet? Have you met him?
No, I just did like that Griffin thing, and then that was it. Is that like a main?
The Griffin's the tutorial.
Yeah, okay.
You're still in the tutorial.
Anyway, I've done that, but I'm going to carry on. It looks absolutely gorgeous. The writing is interesting, and I want to carry on.
The story's fantastic.
I also played a fair bit of Gwent. I mean, I'll say a fair bit, like 3 games.
Oh my god, fucking hell, why?
Well, because I was in the bar and I thought I'll play a bit of Gwent, and I only play 3 games.
That.
But so now I'm a Gwent fanatic. So which 3 is still carrying on with? I'm still plugging away at Celeste because it's still an amazing game. I'm still trying to work out. Today was the first time I actually looked at a walkthrough because there's one bit I don't actually know where to go, but still an incredible game, of course. I played a little bit of Fortnite before the pod, and Dark Souls,
skipped
of course.
over that.
But
Yeah, on Steam and Smo, James. Did you watch any of his stream last night?
I watched quite a lot of it, and then I got to the bit where he started thinking whether he was going to farm souls or not, and then I just tapped out because I was...
You can't... If grinding's bad enough, but you can't sit and watch someone grind.
You weren't alone, James. About 20 people also switched off at that point.
Do you see, Matt always goes into these streams thinking, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
This is it. I'm going to do it. And
it did
like,
feel...
I logged in at 20 past 10, at 20 past 9. He started at 9. I logged in and started watching for 20 past 9. And there was crisis talks going on in the chat. Matt, calm down.
People in the chat were saying to me, ring Dave. I was like, I'm not ringing Dave. It's 20 past 9.
See, it
I'll
did
ring
feel
Dave
a bit...
at 20 past
Matt,
11 if I'm desperate.
Watching it from that, it did feel in the beginning like you were kind of underestimating them. Like it really felt like you were underestimating on Sin and Smo. Like you thought it was going to be like easy and not that difficult. But it felt also that you were going through.
I was joking in my tweets, but
yeah. But no, just that
you watch it though, and I genuinely mean this. You're already a better Dark Souls player than I ever was, so I wouldn't worry too much, Matt. And like the parrying that was going on there was insane. And then even when you were facing Ornstein and Smoke, the dashing out of the way of attacks was better than I ever did. So fair play to you, really. You'll do it.
Oh yeah,
it'll
definitely
take you.
I played for 2 hours.
I reckon 4 or 5 streams it'll take you to take.
I played for 2 hours. It didn't frustrate me. It was just disappointing because I didn't feel like I really got a measure of the movement where to be, and so I'm still, and I mean the most I got was like one of them down to like I think I got like 5% of health, 10% of health down, if that. So I'm still obviously miles away from it. I know I'm going to do it because I'm never going to give up on this game, but it's still good. And like people in the chat, I think Andy Hamilton, a couple of us were saying that James did this without summoning. Dave, you did it with summoning, so I'm determined to do it without summoning. Although the thing is, like, obviously it's an incredibly hard game, but loads of the bosses, other than say Cat Demon, which I couldn't summon, or if I could, I didn't bother. It felt like I can just try for ages, and at the end I'll just summon. It'll be easy. I mean, that has sort of taken the edge off it.
No, it's not easy. It's not easy at all. For starters, you're using an item that you can't get back, so it's not like you could just keep summoning in.
That's good.
Summoning in. Secondly, you don't know what you're getting with a summon. You could get some dozy sod that dies within 5 seconds.
And I summoned loads on previous bosses and died.
Exactly.
Yeah. Anyway, still good. Still cracking on with it. Okay, I'm gonna make a promise now. On Wednesday, I'm gonna do another stream. So if you're downloading this on Wednesday when it comes out, there'll be a stream tonight at 9:00.
Okay. I mean, I was gonna stream Crackdown, but I mean, if you want to take over, that's fine. Do what you want, Matt. That's fine. You own that, apparently. Speaking of which, I've been playing. I went back to Crackdown this week.
Didn't you just?
Oh God. What a game that is. I totally forgot about... Right, so I started on Wednesday. I did a 2-hour stream, I think it was.
Yep, 2 hours.
And I really enjoyed it, but I was getting frustrated that I couldn't find this last orb that I've been looking for. So if you've not played Crackdown, it's like a really old game. There was 700 orbs or 800 orbs, 500 agility orbs, which are the green ones, and 200 or 300 hidden orbs. I think it's 300 hidden orbs, which are these grey ones that are a lot harder to find. They're sort of hidden inside buildings, and they're just hard to find. The agility orbs are more out in the open. But because the map it's still pretty big. I mean, it still feels pretty big to look around that world. once you've got down to like your last 100 or whatever, they become quite sparse and really hard to find. And of course, when you've only got one left, they're almost impossible to find. You've got to really, really go looking for them. But I thought, hey, it's backwards compatible now. I can stream it. Let's start streaming me looking for it. And I played for that 2 hours, didn't find anything, found a few hidden orbs, but no green orbs. And then the next day I was like, I might do this once a week or once every 2 weeks. The next day I woke up and all I thought about was Crackdown. Like, because not only is it fun to try and find this sort of needle in haystack, it's also really, really fun to play. Like, the movement feels incredible still. It hasn't got that, like sort of third-person action games where you're controlling a character, like a human character. When you're turning left and right, they've got that, ever since GTA 4, they got that sort of slow leaning and turning mechanic on this. Well, Crackdown, you're like strafing all over the place and like the big jumps and everything. Once you get back into the feeling of playing that game and understanding the controls, it feels so good to play. You've got this auto lock-on aim system, which is countered by the amount of enemies that are continuously shooting at you. So you're constantly popping in and out of aiming at things. And yeah, just really good fun to like hop across buildings all over again and climb them and all that sort of shit. So yeah, the next day, it was the day of the Nintendo Direct, and Joe went to bed early, and I thought, I've got 45 minutes to the Nintendo Direct, I might just stick Crackdown on for a little bit more. So I did that, and at 10 to 10, just before the Direct started, I found the last green orb. The video is on YouTube, on our YouTube channel, the Computer Game Show. Just search for that and you'll find it. I was over the moon. Honestly, that I let off a little gasp when I see it. That's legit.
Yeah, it's an amazing moment.
I did not, it wasn't faked or anything. It was just a genuine, oh my God, I found this thing that I stopped looking for 10 years ago. There it is. So I'm saying to the chat, look, just take photos of this. Let everyone know on Twitter that I'm about to get the 500th agility orb that I've mentioned on every podcast ever for God knows how many years. Like, I found it. I went to collect it and it said, congratulations, you found number 499 of 500 agility orbs. Turns out I'd only found 498 all those years ago, which means I either lied or got confused and said the wrong thing, and it become fact in my head for 10 years that I only had one left when really I had two. So the hunt continues. I'm going to go back to Crackdown and play it some more.
Yeah, I watched all 2 hours of the stream the night before.
Really? All 2 hours?
Yeah. Well, actually, the annoying thing was... maybe I won't say, but basically what I was going to do, and like your amazing video of you not finding it trumped it basically, but I watched it all and I downloaded it all because I was going to make a highlights video of you going, is it? Oh no, it's not here. Is it that? No, it's not here. And I thought it'd be hilarious. And then you trumped it with like, it's here, and it wasn't. But even during those 2 hours, I thought, there's a chance that this isn't even like the 500th one, and that turned out to be the case.
Well, that was at the back of my mind when I was thinking about looking for this thing. What if I'd totally miscounted? What if all this time I completely screwed it up, and there was more than one out there? But part of me is really disappointed, but part of me wants to go back and play more Crackdown. So any excuse really. So I will be streaming some more. Keep an eye on our Twitter feed and everything, and I'll announce when we're streaming. But so I'm looking forward to going back.
So
to
everyone knows I missed out on Crackdown 1. I played Crackdown 2. I enjoyed it for what it was. Obviously, it wasn't really as good as everyone said the first one was, but just watching you play the first one, it looks amazing. And I really wanted to, after watching you play it, I wanted to get it. In terms of I already own it, I'm not sure if I can get a chance to play it, but it just looks like just incredibly fun to jump around the city and stuff. Does this make you more
and the higher
resolution?
The higher resolution has really made it pop. I mean, I'm only playing on the launch Xbox One console. Apparently it's been enhanced on Xbox One X, but the resolution's definitely got a bump by playing it on the Xbox One. And it looks stunning still. I mean, it's clearly not a current generation game, but for a game that's that old, it looks really, really good. So yeah, very, very surprised by how good it holds up, really.
Does this make you more excited about the third one or not?
Does it make me more excited about the third one? Not really, because we don't know what that really is yet. I mean, I'm definitely going to play it. I'm definitely going to buy it. But it's it's no reflection on the third one, is it? Because there's been such a long gap between them, and the second one I felt was a bit weak. So yeah, I'm not totally pumped for the third one yet, but we'll see. The more that comes out about that, the more interested I'll be, no doubt. John, did you ever have any love for Crackdown?
Yeah, of course. I played the absolute shit out of Crackdown.
Yeah. Did you play a lot of multiplayer,
ton of
co-op stuff?
Yeah, ton of single player. I didn't hunt all the orbs or anything like that, but yeah, ton. And
neither did Dave.
What did you say? Neither did Dave.
I said neither did Dave.
I went up to Dundee to go and see it before it came out as well, and played it. And I just remember laughing my fucking head off as these two giant black guys were stuck in a little purple Mini driving around the city, and me and another journalist playing it in front of the developers. Him laughing as well. They're good guys. I told you about winning the competition. I must have talked about that on this podcast.
What was that?
So they did a competition within all the journalists that are there from all around Europe. So whoever could climb the agency tower in the quickest time.
Oh, you did, yeah.
So it's for the second time in my life at this point. I lied and pretended that I hadn't already done it, which I'd spent time during the hands-on session climbing the agency tower, so I knew how to do it, and obviously nobody else had. So I went in and, just absolutely rinsed it, got to the top, and ended up winning a giant magnum of champagne, which I felt a little bit guilty about, but fuck it. I still won. And that's the second time that I've lied to win a competition, because once when I was at school, when I was very young, there was like a fete at school or some sort of, they do something like that. Summer fete.
School fairs,
that's what shit. And there was a pin the tail on the whale game. Must have been about 9. And they put the blindfold on me and I could just see. I could just fucking see. So I just walked up and put the tail in the very centre of where the dot was on the whale. And they were like, could you see? Because
you didn't even try and disguise it.
No, but I was a good boy. I was like a good boy at school, especially that age. I was one of the very good boys. And so when I lied and said, no, absolutely I couldn't see. No, I couldn't see. They were like, wow, that's amazing. So they didn't think that I was lying because I was a good boy, and I never thought anything more of it. I think I got like a mini Mars bar or Milky Way or something like that. Went back, and then in assembly about 2 weeks later I got called up to the front in front of the entire school and like talked about in this magnanimous terms about this amazing performance on Pin the Tail on a Whale, and was given a giant
you sure this had a fucking
no, this is one of the highlights of my life, and was given a giant tub of roses, and I just like huge, or Quality Street, I think it was Quality Street actually, and just walked back
Did
down.
you also get a massive bouquet of flowers?
Felt like a giant check.
Local newspaper.
Champagne spray all over all the kids.
And I just remember sitting back down, and mine.
you
down the street on a float
as the flags are being like lowered into assembly.
My entire worldview was changed at that moment because I suddenly realised that how far you can get by being deceptive. But
I did that. I did that. What was it? Game Station. People know this story. I think Game Station were doing a Burnout 2 competition for when, because it came out on the PlayStation, and then about a year later it came out on the original Xbox. And they did a competition in their store where it was like, if you get the highest score in Crash Mode, then you'll win a copy of the game on Xbox. And we had absolutely rinsed that game on the PlayStation. So I went in there, I knew which Crash Mode it was. I quadrupled the second place score and got a free copy of the game. So I was well happy with that. Similar. But you almost won, I love this story, you almost won a competition out at that pro gaming event, right?
Which one?
The ARMS competition. You were nearly ARMS champion of the world.
The one where I didn't play?
Yeah, tell that story to Matt, because have you told him?
Maybe not. At the ARMS tournament.
Yeah.
I was, what's the tell? I was going to enter this ARMS tournament at DreamHack Leipzig in January, and there's not even a story. I went and there's a bunch.
Well, the story is that there was a meeting that you had to go to later or something. You had to work later. So you joined this ARMS tournament and you were standing there waiting for it to start. But the Germans were so engrossed in arguing with should motion controls be allowed or not, What were they arguing for
They were
about an
arguing.
hour?
There was a
and
whole
then you
big
just walked off?
debate because a couple of guys asked whether it was going to be motion controls or normal controls, and then they went outside these two of the nerdiest human beings you've ever seen in your life, and that's saying something for a gaming convention. They went outside of this little booth and had this big debate in German, and I could kind of tell that's what they were talking about. Then they came back, and by this point, it was about.
Were they just like flailing their arms about?
It's just pure comic book guy from Simpsons. And then they came back and explained in both German and English, a good effort, to the 40 or so people that had signed up for this tournament at this point, that it was going to be motion controls. And then they said, has anybody else played this game before? I stuck my hand up and I looked around and I was like, oh, I'm the only person who's played this game before. I'm going to fucking destroy all these German teenagers. But then they kept going on about the motion controls, and then they did this long, lengthy demo of how to play. And I was like, at this point, it was like 50 minutes after the tournament was supposed to start. I had a meeting at 2:30. It was 10 to 2. So I was like, I got to fuck off. I got out all these kids. But yeah, I never got to win that arms tournament.
John could have won a arms tournament at a pro gaming event, but they were too busy arguing about the rules to get it started. That's such a shame. What a claim that could have been. I know, like, no one had played it, but it's still...
Oh, yeah, I'd have been the arms champion from
right?
DreamHack Leipzig. I mean, never mind, it was just a little stand with just some nerds. It was nothing to do with DreamHack, apart from the fact they're there. That's irrelevant. It would have still been me. I'd have definitely won. I'd have destroyed them.
It's such a shame. Right, okay, sorry, is that the end of your list, Matt? I don't know how we ended up here.
We're talking about things we've done to break the law to receive accolades.
You're on your list,
I've
Dave.
got a list as long as you're on. But go on to your games, Dave. We're on your list. We're on Crackdown.
Oh yeah, of course we are. We're on Crackdown. Yeah, Crackdown's a good game. Definitely play it if you haven't played it already, because it still holds up and it's still
I think
a lot of fun to play.
When I went to go look to buy it, but then actually already own it, I think it's like £12 on Xbox backwards compatible. So
worth it, because it's still
on the Xbox marketplace.
Well. The other game I've been playing is the main game I've been playing this week is a game called Gravel, which is a racing game that come out. It's published by Square Enix, but the developer, the name escapes me,
Milestone.
But they've been known to... Yeah, that's it. They've done a lot of racing games and a few sort of SingStar style games as well, like the Pop Idol stuff in America and stuff. The more I play it, the more I'm liking it. James, when you come over and I showed it to you on Friday, I sort of said, this is the most average racing game ever. And as I've said a million times, like, there's nothing more average than an average racing game. You know, like, if you've got an average shooter, first-person shooter, all right, it's average, but you're still having fun blowing stuff up and shooting things. And an average platformer, you can still get moments in that feel really good. Whereas a racing game, it's just, you know, you're going around the track and doing things that you've done a million times in a million different racing, and it doesn't. They tend not to add too much to it. But this, it feels dated, right? To start with. When you play a racing game these days, you expect it to either have a hook behind it or to be ultra serious. And when you first load up Gravel, the first idea you get from it is that what it's doing, it's trying to fill the void that I think is in the marketplace at the moment. So it's like Dirt 4, but it's a lot less serious than that game. So Dirt 4 is a great game, but it's a serious racing game for the sort of better parts of that game. It's got more sort of wacky monster truck style racing in it, but that isn't the main focus. The main focus is the serious rally game that's in there. With this, it seems to, like, it's got sort of off-road racing, but there are helicopters everywhere and, you know, heavy metal music, and it's taking that sort of stance. The problem is, it should have gone more in that sort of arcadey spectacle direction. You know, it feels that there's a space for a MotorStorm style game out there at the moment, and I was hoping this was going to be that, but it's not. It takes itself a little bit more seriously than that, which is a shame, but you get over that. And the reason why I'm saying it's dated is mainly due to the driving AI. The AI feel like AI. It feels a bit like how Project Gotham was to play. Like, the AI in Project Gotham wasn't as much, oh my god, I'm battling out with these cars. It was like, these cars are following a driving line, and it's how quickly they'll be following that. That sets what the difficulty is. And the only way to really win, because the way it's set up, you've got normal races, you play through the career mode, you've got normal races, and then they're split up with these, what they call event races, which is against a named driver with these really cheesy sort of FMV videos to start off, where the driver's sort of like looking and fight, there's fire behind him, and he's going, this guy, he's a really good driver, and, you know, he's really fired up for this, and you're just going, what, I'm cringing the hell out of myself right now, this is awful. And then all of a sudden, the difficulty spike is insane. Like I said to you on Friday, James, like, I do not know how I'm ever going to win this race. I must have had about 15 to 20 attempts, and I'm not getting anywhere. I'm not even getting, like, every time I get close to overtaking him, I'll slightly fuck up a corner and then he's away again. What I've learnt since is that, I mean, you can't compare this game to Project Gotham, but you have to race the same way as you do in that game. So if you remember going back to playing against the AI in Project Gotham, you did not give a shit about driving like how you should be driving. So, you know, in Dirt and Forza Motorsport, not so much Horizon, but it's more about keeping to your driving line, doing like knowing when to overtake, battling off the cars behind you, sort of holding your ground and stuff. With this, it feels more like Project Gotham in that spin them out, just drive aggressively, spin them out, don't brake at the corners, just slam into their car and then move on. The moment I got into that mindset, I just blitzed through that special event in no time. And although secretly you should be going, actually, I want to learn how to race and, you know, get that sort of, you know, take the corners perfectly, get as close to the barriers as possible without crashing. You should have that feeling when playing a racing game that sort of aims at a more serious sort of space. Like this has that sort of overall feeling of, hey, this is proper racing. You know, this game is taking the racing aspect of this seriously. But I just find that hey, I'm going to be a dickhead and drive into everyone and spin everyone out to get to the end, like a bad guy in a Cars film, like that's how I drive in this game. And ever since I've taken that sort of mentality, I've really, really enjoyed it. So although, yes, a lot of it is average, and it's not the sort of game that I'm going to turn around to you and say, you looking for a driving game, get this one. I can't really get to that level, but I am enjoying what I'm playing. So
it looks pretty
maybe
average.
It's because
what do you think graphically? Does it look a lot better in gameplay?
Graphically, it's very, very strange. It uses the Unreal Engine, and which means the lighting in it is superb. Like it's got lots of like neon signs everywhere. There's a game mode where it's really strange. It's got checkpoints, and they're signs, like neon signs. And as you drive up to them, they start spinning around like a fruit machine wheel. And then one or two of those signs will turn green, and one of them, and like three of them will turn red. And if you hit the red one, it slows your car down. If it hits the green one, you drive through it like it's not there. And that, in the darker sort of settings, like especially when it's pure daylight, it looks terrible. It looks really dated. It doesn't, like, the textures don't look that good. Nothing looks good about it. But when it's like sunsetting or at night time, the light and effects really come into it. And with the light bouncing off your car and that, it gives off that effect of, holy shit, this looks really strong. But then, you know, compare that to like Drive Club or the Forza games now, especially on Xbox One X, you can't compare them because those games make this game look total shit. So yeah, graphically it's not that good. In terms of the car selections, you're very, very limited at the start. You unlock more as you level up. It's got sort of a leveling up system. You get points for how well you race, which is a joke in itself because you only really get points for, you know, jumps and stuff, and you're relying on what the track lets you do in that regard. But
is there a car system
the more
in
points
this game?
you get, the more. A card system?
Yeah, like is there a point where you might get like random upgrades and you have to like buy cards or select cards?
No, it's not that I've come across. You can upgrade and tweak your car, but I think that's all done through experience points and stuff. But yeah, no, there's a game in there. And there's always that feeling with racing games that come out like this, where you say, actually, you've got something that you could build on here. And I think they have. It's a long way off from being getting to that recommended mark. A long way off. But there is something about this sort of getting rid of the whole, hey, to drive, like, it's got the rewind mechanic that you get in all these racing games now, but it hasn't got that driving line mechanic. Like, it hasn't got like arrows on the floor that turn red when you're going too fast towards a corner, because it feels like it's saying, yeah, we don't care about that. You've actually got to drive aggressive to succeed in this game. Again, like Project Gotham felt like. I mean, it feels like you should be taking these cars out as you're approaching them. There's something to that. There's like a core element that's really enjoyable about being a dickhead on a racing track and not getting punished for it. And if I'd be interested to see how it plays online. I haven't tried it online yet, but if everyone's doing that, I could imagine that being infuriating.
I bet.
But playing alone against the computer, it just feels great. So I've still got a lot more to play before I can finalise my opinion on it, but it's a lot better than I thought it was when I'd first started. I initially thought this was going to be great, it's going to be an arcade game, and then I was totally let down in seeing that it doesn't go full arcade with it, and that's a shame. But then once I got the idea of what you're supposed to do to win these races, I started to enjoy it again. So there's something there. It's just whether it's got that sort of staying power to the end of the campaign. We'll see. We will see. Okay, that's it. What we've been playing is done now. So
dust is in the
what's
can.
next?
It's bloody emails, boys, isn't it?
John.
It's emails time.
Emails, isn't it?
It's this old Postman
John. There's a lot of letters, so this is going to be the longest podcast in history. If you want to email us, it's thecomputergameshow@gmail.com. I'll get straight into it. Apologies if this has been answered in the past, but after James displayed his knowledge of China again on last week's show, it got me wondering, what was it that first got him interested in Chinese culture? Regards, SMW.
Do you want me to go into this or not? Because
yes.
Yeah, we'll just summarise.
All right. For a long time I studied basically like Marxism. I studied like Marxist history and that kind of thing. I was originally interested in the Soviet Union, and then I started to study how the social systems work there, and then I wanted to see how it was applied in other cultures, and then that's how I got into China. And
cool.
Yeah, that's it.
That's the summary. Sounds
There you go.
good.
Right. Hi guys, I've been really enjoying the recent slate of episodes, starting with the Game of the Year show. I think the dynamic with John has changed the show a fair bit, and Matt's awful attempts at being a game show host is truly cringeworthy but hilarious at the same time.
How dare you?
The question I had was specifically for John, as he's mentioned on the show about playing Street Fighter V, but it could be applied to other genres of games. The question is, when playing a game like Street Fighter, do you prefer to use an arcade stick or just a controller? And swing it for the rest of the guys when playing a driving game like GT or Forza, do you prefer using a steering wheel and pedals or a controller? Also, has Matt had a chance to try out the new Daytona game in arcades, considering his love for AM2? Keep up the great work. Really looking forward to the live show at Rezzed. I've left off who that was from, so apologies. Street Fighter arcade stick is a must. For other fighting games like Injustice, you can get away with using the pad. I know purists will say you need to use a stick. I'm sure if you want to play at any level, you need to play with a stick. But for me, the actual inputs for Street Fighter are very, very difficult on the pad, so you need the stick. But I'm lucky enough to have a decent stick that Mr. Chet Roivers gave me for playing Street Fighter. But I never really played with wheels or pedals or on racing games. I've never really been into them to that level. How about you?
For me, I mean, I would always love to play on a wheel or a stick or whatever. I just cannot be bothered. Do you know what I mean? Like, getting it out, plugging it in, putting it away afterwards. Terrible, I know, but what can you do? Especially with a wheel, because there's all sorts of things you've got to plug in and shit, and I'm just like, by the time I'm done, I'm thinking, I can't be bothered. But then when we played Drive Club in VR around yours, Matt, that you can't beat it. It felt so good.
Yeah, it was great to have the steering wheel and pedals
for the week that you owned it.
Still made mad profit do. That email is actually from Tendo Pete, by the way.
Of course it is, yeah.
And no, I mean, I've been to like bowling alleys. I recently there's a few in some cinemas near me, and I've been looking out for it. But those are the only arcades I'm near these days. I haven't seen Daytona, but yeah, I'd love to play it.
What?
Love to
play
about the new Daytona game in arcades.
Oh right, yeah. No, I've not. Yeah, but when people say there's a new arcade game out, I say right, okay. Where or how could I ever play that? Yeah,
like I guess it's only like bowling alleys. That's the only place you have this stuff now.
We got the Namco Centre. That's usually got sort of newish stuff in there, but yeah. I don't go there often.
Haven't seen it, but I'm if anyone's actually listening to this and they know where New Daytona Cab is, then let us know. I'll
Let's
pop
do
down.
All right, moving on. Hello, chaps. As you mentioned on last week's show, the Vita and the PS3 are dropping off PlayStation Plus in a year. As James pointed out, they probably announced this so far to stop people complaining they didn't get a full year's worth of games on PS Plus for those consoles. My question is, so you think they're both going out with a bang or like a wet fart? I love my Vita, but it always feels like Sony have been holding the thing at arm's length. Cheers, Robotic Monkey. I mean, PS3 is just old, so it's kind of nothing really. And Vita's been dead. It's been sort of walking dead, dead on arrival, dead in the water, anything to do with dead for years, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. It's
Sadly,
it's not. I mean, it's quite old as well. The Vita, it's been around for a long time. It's
very true. Actually.
It's I mean, it's a fantastic machine, but again, Sony didn't seem to agree. Apart from in Japan,
yeah, it's like 2012, was it?
Yeah, I think it's 2012.
Yeah, I mean, that's fucking well old. Okay, right. Next up was from Ben Bowers. This was the longest email of all time. I've cut it pretty much in half, but it's still massively long. I'll basically just get to the gist of it. He's coming out in defense of easy modes in games because he's got a lot going on. He's got family, all this sort of stuff. He had a problem with Cuphead because it's the conversations that we've had before. So he's kind of interested to know whether we think brutally hard games such as Dark Souls and Cuphead actually do themselves a disservice by targeting a relatively niche brackets, or is it cult audience. I get the appeal of the challenge of those games, but I'm not in a position to experience them myself in that form. And so they've lost my money. Keep up the good work, gents. Ben Bowers. We talked about this before, but I kind of think it works on a case-by-case basis. For Dark Souls, I don't think an easy mode would be suitable for that game, just because I think so much of what that game is tied into its difficulty, into its challenge. And I think that the developers should be brave enough to stand by that. And I think they've been proven correct. In Cuphead, though, I don't get why it's that hard. I just don't. It's just annoying to me. I've been trying it again recently. The game just does my fucking head in. It's just annoying.
Yeah, but
some people love it.
We need. There needs to be badge of honor games like that. You know what I mean? That are really
if it's
that
well
hard
designed.
and you're lonely.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I just don't think it is. For me, in that particular game, I just don't see why it's that hard. So,
I mean,
why?
I've seen a lot of people say that it's utterly incredible, though. And
Yeah, but I
one
don't
of the
give a flying fuck about what any of those people say. I just don't reckon. I don't understand why it's hard.
Okay.
Why it's that hard? Yeah, I think it's just unnecessarily irritating. I mean, some people like to just bash their head against the wall, but I mean, I wouldn't recommend it.
Okay. All right. There's John's opinion there.
Yeah, but if this is the computer game show of what everybody thinks in the world, then what are we doing here?
No. I'm not saying you can't voice it. I'm not saying that at all. If you think it's needlessly hard, then that's up to you, isn't it? You're welcome.
Dave. All right. Anyone else got any thoughts on that one?
No, I mean, let's say Wolfenstein 2: The New Colossus. I happily put that down to easy mode because I was gonna get through it. But that felt like a game where it was just hard, but also just not satisfying. Dark Souls is hard, but there's strong systems, so you can learn them. But so I mean, Cuphead looked great, but I thought, I mean, just like you, Ben, I was never Ben Bowles, who emailed, I was never going to play it because I don't want to. I don't want to have to learn and really go through that stuff. So I mean, whether they're doing themselves a disservice, I don't think so, because I think the pure design of games they want to design, it's going to miss out on some of the audience, but I still find a hardcore audience. I love that sort of stuff.
Yeah, right. Would Dark Souls have been that successful with a easy mode? That's what you've got to think about.
Definitely not. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Right, moving on. Hi chaps, with Mother's Day just passing, who do you think are the best mums in video games? I can think of lots of dads, but not many mums.
Yeah.
And then he mentions about how he's in San Francisco and there's stuff that would make drive Matt crazy: beards, scooters, electric skateboards, etc.
Sounds like me.
From Kurt Lewin.
I mean, the only one that jumps out when you think about mums in games is probably from Wolfenstein 2, right?
There's also this Chloe's mum from Life is Strange. She's very good.
She is very good. That is a very good shout. Yeah, I like that character a lot. Yeah, but really, yeah, you're right. Mum representation.
There's a lack of mums.
There's a lack of mums. Needs to be more mums. I'm behind that.
Yep.
Mum simulator.
Hashtag more mums.
I can't think of one single mum.
We've named two.
Someone in the
No, I
tweets
still can't
mentioned
think
the mum in Pokemon, but I don't really know about her.
Yeah, it was mainly the professor was the sort of
Yeah,
parent role in that, wasn't it?
yeah. Let's get more mums.
Let's get more mums.
Right, evening, guys. Following
Mum's
the
a word.
news. We kind of addressed this earlier on. It's a question about Crash Bandicoot being a first party game, but we explained it's not.
That's where I saw
So,
it. That's
yeah.
where, I saw
Yeah,
it.
yeah. He says, is there ever a chance to see God of War, Last of Us, or even Spyro appear on the Switch? Spyro, yes, because again, it's an Activision game. I get it, because they were first-party games. But, they sold the license to Activision many years ago, so that's that mystery solved. All right, gents, over the years, I've made several game and hardware purchases based on discussions on your shows. The enthusiasm, or lack thereof, really influenced my likelihood to spend. I bought a Switch at Christmas because you don't stop banging on about it, and I'll probably buy an Xbox One soon as well. I would easily say that you've easily convinced me to spend $2K plus over the years I otherwise wouldn't have.
I'm so sorry.
If you had to put a monetary value to your retail influence over the years, what would it be, and how bitter are you that you've not got a slice of that pie? I would imagine the retail influence over the magazines that I worked on, it was back in the day when they sold, so they sold quite well back in the day. So I'd imagine it's quite high, but I'm not even slightly bitter that I've not got a slice of that pie.
No.
It doesn't bother me at all. It's never really something I've ever really thought about.
We didn't create these things.
I don't know.
So
I'm livid.
it's-
Absolutely livid. So,
Go on, why's that?
James was like, I could have 10%.
No, I mean, if PR companies are listening, I would say that we are,
And they'd be mad not to.
we're responsible for millions of pounds worth of sales. So, you know where our
Yeah.
inbox is.
Yeah, Squarespace. Lisa.com.
Well, I'm not worried about that. I'm talking about the games.
Okay.
I just want free
Oh,
games.
yeah. Me too, yeah.
As John said, you can't get bitter about that in the slightest, because at the end of the day, I mean, I'm sure we've put off a lot of people from games as well. So it works both ways, doesn't it?
Yeah. Interestingly, now, when a lot of people use Amazon affiliate links, whether they're streamers, YouTubers, or even on the websites, so people are getting a little sneaky cut, which is.
We ain't those people, though. We ain't those people, John.
Well, we ain't those people.
When you say that, Dave, I have put affiliate links into our YouTube videos before.
How much money have we made from that?
I stopped doing it after 2 episodes and I didn't bother checking.
£0.
We've got a massive load of money sitting waiting for us, I imagine.
Okay.
Right, and last letter is from Simon Blood. Hello there, lads. I'm a long-time listener to the show, so I thought it was about time I got involved and asked you a question.
Yes.
Now, you've all reached the stage of your lives where you're experienced parents. No doubt you all have countless proud dad moments regarding watching your kids game. Only a few weeks ago I watched excitedly as my 11-year-old daughter achieved her first victory royale in Fortnite, and I was bursting with pride.
That's insane, though, isn't it? An 11-year-old winning a victory royale. That is fair play. Fair play.
Yeah, fair play indeed. About 7 years ago, though, I remember coming home from work, booting up my PS3, only to be greeted by an alarming grinding noise. I opened up the console to find that my angel of a little girl had jammed a couple of Capri Sun straws into the disk drive.
Oh, God.
So my question is, have any of you had any gaming-related disasters involving your offspring that have left you furious?
yeah.
Keep up the good work, fellas. Regards, Simon Blood.
James?
How about you,
2
James?
years of Animal Crossing stuff down the drain after my daughter deleted my save game. That annoyed me.
Oh, crap.
Pain.
Speaking of, while we're on save games, Harry accidentally reset his Mario Odyssey thing. So I've now got to play through the full campaign a bit so he can see Luigi. It's devastating, actually, because he was sitting, he was playing it, and I went, Harry, why have you only got one kingdom? What is going on? Where's your spaceship? And he was like, I don't know. And I was like, you've deleted your save. And then every time we got to New Kingdom, he was like, where's Luigi? I'm like, oh mate, no, you can't do that. And then he saw the little, moon rock thing. And he's like, why can't I blow that up? Because you've got to do the whole fucking thing again. I'm going to have to do it all again. But no, in terms of like putting shit and destroying my stuff, we've been extremely lucky with Harry. He doesn't go anywhere near the consoles and wouldn't dare touch any of that shit. So, same with my phone. You know, like how kids grab phones all the time. He just knows never to touch mine. I think I might have snapped it once and it's just ingrained into his head now. John, you've had some bad luck, haven't you?
Yeah, I mean...
20
nothing
headsets?
Oh God,
Yeah, I've
yeah.
lost headsets.
Cody used to destroy my headsets. I fucking forgot. You just erase all the bad memories from your mind. I was just remembering when I found my Switch, like right next to the condensation and the water backwards in the thing. And it wasn't that bad. But I was like, for fuck's sake. But I've not had anything jammed into a disk drive or anything like that. I think my TV got destroyed by the kids, but nobody's told me exactly what happened. But I managed to get a new one, so it's all fine.
What, for insurance?
It was still in warranty, and it was like a problem in the inside of the TV, so they just gave me a new one, or they replaced the panel. Anyway, it was fine. My brother, I'm a lot older than my brother. I'm 8 years older than him, and he, when I was playing Banjo-Kazooie, of all games, not for the 25th time, but for the first, I was towards the end, and then I came home from school one day, so he used to get home earlier than me, and he'd finished it for me. He just finished the game. And this was not
horrific.
You can't. It's not like back. Now you could go back and load a previous save or anything like that. No, he'd done the last maybe hour and a half for me, maybe 2 hours.
Can you come on my place? I've got a few games to get.
Useful.
And that was it. It's like you can't go back, replay from a chapter or something. It's either like play the whole game again or never play it again. The choices. And I complained to Mum, and she was like, you have to let it play. I was suddenly in the wrong. I've never really come to terms with it. I think that's why deep down I don't like Banjo-Kazooie, because of that. Anyway.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
How about you, Matt?
No, Elodie's also really good with that sort of stuff. I mean, she hasn't destroyed anything yet. She knows not to throw or... No, she's touched my phone every now and then to look at like photos and videos and stuff. But no, I haven't had anything broken. I think she knows not to...
It's not that,
things.
All the kids know. It's literally just luck. It's whether you fluked it out with... I mean, Harry's horrific in other ways, but it's just luckily it's not the destroying my computer stuff, because that would be generally horrible.
Yeah.
But it's got nothing to do with, he knows not to do that, so we're fine. It's that's just one aspect of his personality that isn't horrific.
Also, random stuff just happens. Like, I mean, I had a headset like just next to the bed, and actually just jumped off the bed and fell on it and just like smashed it, and it's like, just stuff like that. And that was a Beats one as well. I was quite annoyed about that, but you can't do anything.
Oh, you couldn't listen to your hip hop.
Yeah.
That's a shame, James. I bet you were there. I want to listen to my hip hop, and now I can't listen to it.
Yep.
Can't listen to my Dre collection.
It's all right. Shame. You can use some sellotape. It just looks bad, doesn't it?
Yeah, you can't have Beats all fucking tapes up.
Masking tape around it.
Tape on it, yeah.
So Cody is and I'm glad the Wii U is amazingly durable, because he just slams that motherfucker on the floor all the time. And I mean, it's difficult because he can reach where it is. So he goes up and then he gets annoyed and just throws it on the floor. And he's put him on the naughty step and he's everything, but it's like the damage is done. He's done it many times. He's thrown my phone many times. He's a very, very, very angry person. But he's only thrown the Switch once, and thankfully it didn't break. But I think he now knows from the horror in his face when I came for him. I didn't hurt him, but
Has he threatened to choke Matt out yet?
Who, Cody?
Yeah.
No, he doesn't know who Matt is.
Oh,
but
right,
I'm sure when he meets,
the moment he sees him, he's just going to look at. He's going to look at you, put his thumb across his neck.
He doesn't know who I am, John. You haven't told him about the whole crew.
No, I haven't told him about you yet. He knows who Dave and James are.
Yeah, of course, we're the boys.
Right, we do. Moving on. That was a good question, by the way, Simon. Thank you. Moving on. It's tweets time. It's tweets time, boys. We're nearly there. We're in the final stretch. Darren Gargett always bringing...
John, you're starting to sound like James Farley there.
No.
Just get on with it.
No. This isn't a negative thing. We're moving on through. We're bringing up the energy, if anything. I mean, this would have been full of fire, Matt. Matt, I was just going to... I decided to keep talking to see how long you continue trying to talk over me. And it's like, unbelievable.
Fucking annoying,
that's ridiculous. He's still going.
There's someone at work.
But it's not loud. That's the thing. If it was loud, I'd be like, fine. But it's not. It's like, and because I'm polite and I was brought up nicely, I tend to stop. But no, it's got to the point where it's ridiculous.
There's someone that I work with that I do that with now, where they'll ask me a question, and as I'm explaining, they'll start talking over me. And I used to stop. listen to what they were saying, then continue with what I was saying. Now, I don't stop. I've got to the point where I'm so frustrated with it. Oh, how do you do this? Well, here's what you do. Yeah, but I don't... And then I just continue talking over them. And if they miss what I'm saying, then I go and sit down and... I'm an awful person to work with these days. I've got zero patience.
Did you ever get to those situations where both of you are just talking for like a weird
and
amount of
and
time?
I just don't
15
stop.
minutes later.
But the thing is, they want information from me, not the other way round. So it's who's losing out.
Fuck them.
Yeah.
Well,
Right.
that might take it too far. Just stop the conversation.
Okay.
Like that. Right. Darren Gargett. Thinking about DT's tragic Crackdown episode, what else does the Pod Club have to equal that in terms of being so excited to do something in a video game, only for it to unravel into a true nightmare for yourself? It's a good question.
James, you brought a story up like this not too long ago, a few episodes ago, where you tried to do something in a game and then you found out you didn't even need to do it. What was it?
That was Jet Set Radio. Yeah, that was
Jet Set Radio. Yeah.
I thought something was somewhere it wasn't, and just destroyed a blind. Yeah.
John,
I can't really think of anything like that. I mean, like, games unravel into nightmares all the time, but because I've never been someone who goes around collecting shit, I don't have any of that type of story. So I don't know. I don't fucking know. Other than my brother doing that banjo thing to me.
Fuck that. That's outrageous.
Yeah.
Well, I was playing Mirror's Edge, and
oh god! Right, next question.
Yeah, Mickey Feckin' Duffy, which is not like a Japanese name, which you seem to think it was on the last episode.
That was
but
it.
It's
I
Mickey.
didn't think it was a Jackanese name. It was just the way Matt said it. It was like
Jackanese.
Sorry, It was just saying. It was just the way it went. Mickey Feckin' Duffy. It's just the way Matt said it. It was fucking hilarious.
Right,
Thank
Mickey
you.
Feckin' Duffy. Anyway, Chunky Duffy. Kane and Rince are the So Solid crew of the podcast world. Which popular music group is TCGS?
The Beatles. Next question.
Andy Goldwyn. If you weren't doing this podcast, which one would you be doing instead?
Probably Interface.
Kane and Rince.
Really?
Oh, Interface.
See, notice how Matt didn't say that.
Shit.
Mine was clear joke answer.
Probably Big Bother. Because have you checked like our Facebook group? They still get messages about
we're
that.
always getting messages, aren't we? But that's mostly idiots, right? Who on Facebook who genuinely think they're talking to their brother. No, for real. So I used to work for a digital agency called Delete. It doesn't matter what names. And basically, they're called Delete, and we have people messaging us every single day who would basically say delete, like message us saying delete photo, delete status. Like they're so stupid. They thought that's what, I don't know. And I think that's what people are doing with Big Brother. They're like, hello, Big Brother. Hi, Big Brother. How you doing? Like, we're a podcast, you did, and we haven't posted since like 2014.
And we're not called Big Brother. We're called Big Bother. So you've already put that in wrong. Yeah. Okay.
People are idiots.
John, what about you?
What would you be doing? We're doing a tech one for real.
I'd just be doing Chet and John on my own.
John and John. Just
John.
John.
Just John. John. No H in that John.
Never.
And at number 10 this week is... Go on.
Darren Moore, knowing that they're big fans of Left 4 Dead on the podcast, have any of you played Warhammer Vermintide?
No,
I told David about it ages ago. I said
Yeah.
we should play this, and then obviously the sequel's out now, and like that's sold like 500,000 copies in a week. So people are raving about it. I do want to play. The first one was out on Games of Gold, so I've got it. I've got a copy.
Yeah, I've got it.
Not sure if you guys have got it.
Yeah,
David,
I've got it.
No.
Did you download it? Dave?
No.
We can maybe have it go.
But we got to play that Rainbow Six version.
We
Left 4
do.
Dead thing.
There's a lot of things to play.
There's too much
Why
to
didn't
play.
you download it?
I don't download all of them like you guys do.
Yeah, but it's a
I must say,
Left 4
I
Dead game.
download every PS Plus game because I just go to the website and download it. It's super easy. But the Games of Gold ones, it's a bit more of a ball ache, so I don't get all of them because it's a cool story, eh?
That was awesome. That nearly ended me. Tom Doughty, recounting police. Which video game character is the biggest Tory?
Huh.
I don't
Okay.
know.
So they got to be rich, and they got to want to. Well, I don't
It's
know.
like
Who cares?
Every main enemy.
Yeah, for me, I'm not a fan of Tories, but if you are, then whatever. I just politics, innit? I'm not intelligent enough to even talk about it. My main outlet is just texting James with names of people that are into politics and saying, "Is this person all right?" No, David, that person's not all right. Okay, fine. Is this person all right? Yes, he's got some good idea. Okay, I don't need to know any more than that. He's
person all right? Dave, that's Theresa May. Is that who? I loved her first album.
But no, this one's not all right. He's a friend of Milo's. Was usually how things go sometimes.
What, Peter Molyneux?
Yeah.
Go on.
Final question from Aaron Sutton. Following their recent team up for Rock Reacts, is Matt Murray at all concerned about a potential Simon Miller 316 run-in during his live show match against John Denton? If so, has he prepared a potential counter?
I'm not scared. Don't care. Bring it all on.
Mate, are you kidding me? Like, I'd be worried about John coming after me on his own, but with Miller as well, you're dead.
If you bring the heat, John, I've got people in my corner as well.
Like who?
I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to ruin it now.
Go on, say. You got to pick someone that you know is backing you up. Who are you picking?
Okay, Josh Gary. Me, Josh Gary, and Leon Cox are going to crush you guys.
Well, it's a 3 against 2, actually. Well, yeah, no, I'd pay to see that.
Actually, I'm going to enlist everyone from Kane and Rince. And I'll just
still get battered,
if there's so many of them, I'll just run on.
I still think it's one-sided. John would just swing one arm and take 4 of them out. It'd be like Dynasty Warriors.
Dick Tracy style. That's not really a reference to 90% of people listening to this will even understand. Okay. I'm not scared. It's all bant, and I'm sure when we see each other in real life, it'll be fine, won't it, John?
Yeah, maybe.
John Denton, what did you think of the questions this week?
They were solid this week. Good letters. Tweets. The problem with the tweets were everybody got distracted by the EGX Res tweet and the subsequent memes and funny picture of me with my little face in the corner.
Matt got totally done by his own game, didn't he? Done at his own game. The EGX account.
Well, we all got mugged off, Dave.
Did you?
Well, they were mugging a podcast off.
Yeah, I know, but I found it funny because I don't care about Twitter. That's your area. And they pissed on you. I really want to
retaliate, but I couldn't really retaliate against EGX, who have given us a live slot.
Also, no one believed that they really wanted Midnight Resistance over us. I mean, Jesus.
It was like his irony, wasn't it? It's incredible irony.
Yep. Okay, good questions. Matt, social media. We're talking about it.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it some more.
At least 59% of the show is now on Twitter. Go to twitter.com. /computer.
No one would be following you if it wasn't for the show.
I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about the podcast.
Same. Again, no one would be following that Twitter account if it weren't for that show. So now claiming that the Twitter account is more important than the show.
They're like, why are you called Computer Game Pod? No, there's no podcast. Just it wouldn't make sense, Dave.
Well, there you go. So it's not 59% on Twitter then, is it, Matt? Get it right.
At Computer Game Pod on Twitter is the Twitter account. We're also on Instagram, we're on Facebook. We love any reviews on Apple Podcasts, of course. We've got a Discord. Go to bit.ly/TGCS Discord to go there. And what I would like, if anyone is listening to the show that hasn't emailed or tweeted us before, send us a tweet or follow us or send us an email. That's what I'd love to see new people engaging us and saying hello. We'd love that.
We would love that.
That's it.
Thanks for living it. We'll catch you next week with another lot of games to talk about and hopefully some news. Cheers. Have a great week. We'll see you later. Goodbye. Love you. Goodbye.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.